about them. But as is tradition, 'twas written in the stars that the very first thing we have to do is turn on the lights on our. Yeah, there we go. Yep, turn on the lights on the shelf because I keep forgetting to do it ahead of time, and it looks like it's not going to work today because everything I build turns to powder. Let's see. I get the freaking OSDs now on. All right. The lights aren't working. I need to repair this. I figured out what's wrong. I've got the there we go. I've got the regulator wire. Like, I'm using a linear regulator, but there's more current flowing through it than I expected, so it overheats and cuts out. Yes, the Chromance is back. It's been fully repaired. I made some code upgrades, even though right now you see it's kind of glitching a little. There we go. All right, we got lights, we got cameras. Now it's time to bring the action. Yeah. So today we got some fun stuff to do. We got some interesting things going on. I really appreciate everyone showing up today. This episode is sponsored by Things. That's right. I've got our. We'll get to that in a sec. But yeah. So what the heck's going on here? I mean, well, first off, I haven't eaten a single calorie today, and normally, you know, and I said I wouldn't do this again, but I'm gonna have a bite of Pop-Tart because if I don't, I came about this close to fainting at the end of an episode a few weeks ago, and I'd prefer not to to do that again. So, yeah, welcome. This is my we'll call this my birthday cake. Yeah, so this is the anniversary of the Somatic Data Glove video. That was like my first serious YouTube video. I've been watching YouTube for like this this just perfectly represents the channel, doesn't it? So I've technically been on YouTube for around 12 years. Yeah, my account was created 12 years ago. I've been uploading videos since 2012, but I wasn't taking it seriously, like, in the slightest. My first video that I took that I tried to take seriously and produce was in like 2015, but I only got through 2 videos before I gave up. It's been exactly 1 year, exactly to the day, since I uploaded the video about my Somatic Data Glove. And, well, things went kind of freaking crazy. Things kind of went crazy after that. So, yeah. It's been a real milestone. It feels a lot longer than 1 year to me. It feels significantly longer. I gotta say, like, I don't know too many other people who could say this, but I have worked harder and during the pandemic than I have ever worked in my life. This past year has been the hardest of my not the hardest of my life, because as we're going to find out, this job is great. I had a lot, like, I enjoy this work tremendously, a lot more than I expected I would. But man, has this been a lot of work. I have been on man. So first, yeah, like I can't even pull up the words for it. It's the level at which I've worked is greater than anything of my entire life. This past year has been harder than my entire college career. It's been harder than my entire professional career. It's been the hardest. Every single video has been the hardest project I've ever made. Yeah. It's been a hell of a ride, and we've come a long way in it. So yeah, today I have a couple big announcements to make. We also have I also pulled together some numbers because I know we're all nerds and we like numbers. See, this one's actually wrong. This is off by 1. There we go. Yeah, I've pulled together all the video ideas that I've mentioned in videos and then just completely not done. We'll talk about which one of those. Video ideas and other things. Like, basically I've assembled all the promises that I made you, and I haven't fulfilled, and we will figure out which of those are going to happen and which ones probably won't. And I have prepared a very brief list of things that, like, goals and stuff for the next year. It's funny, like, I have a very from date. So I didn't. The video came out a year ago, but I've been working on YouTube a lot longer. Before I even got started working on the first video, I spent about 2 straight weeks full time researching YouTube to figure out, like, whether the economics worked, if I'd be capable of doing it. I was partially correct on that one. Coming up with a strategy, all that, and then we spent a month doing nothing but, like, stockpiling videos. We ended up, like, I think I stockpiled 3 videos and part of a fourth. And that went out the window almost immediately. Like, we ran out of our backlog instantly. Oh, man, there are so many stories I could tell. Yeah, we had to deal with the pandemic. The apartment kept falling apart. We did an apartment hunt. Gave up on that. Did a house hunt. Gave up on that. Did a Colorado apartment hunt. Moved to Colorado. Set up shop here. Yeah. Oh, man. As it turns out, we jumped ship at the perfect time. Because we used to be run out of... I used to run the operation out of the Fat Cat Fab Lab in New York City. And Fat Cat Fab Lab... basically, like... No, they're still around. They're still safe. But the landlord tried to raise the rent so far that it would have ended the... Basically... The landlord raised the rent so high that it would have ended it on the spot. So they negotiated a deal to bring the rent down to a level that will give them a few more months to try to figure things out. The problem is they had to give up the office space that I was working out of. So effective tomorrow, if I had stayed in New York City, we'd be looking... I would have 1 day. Basically, I would have 2 days to completely transfer my operation to a new workshop and get the internet connection working fast enough. Honestly, though, I wouldn't have done any streams. His internet connection at the Fab Lab wasn't fast enough. All right, so without further ado, yeah, actually, I don't need to worry that much about this because I have a liquid lunch. I've prepared a few of, well, now that we're Coloradoites, I've prepared some of Colorado's finest. So we've got Ellie's Brown, brewed by Avery in Boulder, Colorado. This brewery is probably like 15 minutes due north or something. I'm bad with directions, but point is, there we go. So let's talk about Things first, yeah. So this is sponsored by Things. Things is your place to download any sort of 3D file. I've been reminded that they're not just STL files, even if you're looking for, OBJs, steps, all that good stuff. Just head over things.com, and they got your back. So you might wonder, like, what sort of like psychopathic capitalist maniac loser asshat has his anniversary episode sponsored? Well, if you don't already know that's me by now, consider yourself educated. But more importantly than that, Things has an important place in the history of the channel. So let's switch over. There we go. So let's head over to things.com. Things was our first sponsor, and they were Things was our first sponsor, and they actually came to me. They found me on Instagram, reached out to me, and we ended up working on the video. The video wasn't the first to come out. The first sponsored video on the channel, I believe, was the one on 3D printed D&D. The first one was the top. I think it was the top 10 tools. Something. I think that was it. Anyways, that was the first sponsored episode. They reached out to me. Did they ever get their money's worth on that one? Holy crap. Yeah, but I thought that, the numbers I read online were much, much higher. In terms of the number of viewers you need to, and subscribers you need to get sponsors. So I never even thought we'd be able to get sponsorships. But they believed in us, and, here we are. And that basically... Because Things started sponsoring the channel, it basically put us about probably 14 months ahead of schedule. Yeah, like before the economics, like without sponsors and without the support of, so like without sponsors, can't work full time. The ad revenue just isn't enough. So I would have been dividing my time between making videos and continuing to take on clients. Because remember, I was like a freelance product developer, and yeah, without the ability to make videos full time, there's a limit to how many videos we can make, and that means that we can't like bring in any other. I can't pay the bills through Patreon or anything like that. So basically, the original plan was that it would take about 18 months from the time we drop our first episode to be able to pay the bills on it and be able to put all of my time into it and abandon the client work altogether. But because things got involved and because they really liked what happened with the first episode, and they decided to bring me in again and again, that allowed us to pay the rent, and effectively jumped us 14 months ahead of schedule. I could, instead of having to do keep on top of all my clients while also trying to keep on top of the videos, I could focus now entirely on the videos. So without Things involvement, it's safe to say we would absolutely not, like, if we were here right now, there would only be like 6 of you guys, gals and cyborgs. Although, like, statistically, yeah, it would probably be 6 guys. Maybe the sixth one has a 1 in 3 chance of not being a guy. But anyways, thanks to Things, I've been putting my projects up on Things ever since we started, and I've been rehosting a lot of other people's projects as permitted by the Creative Commons licenses. It's been a while since I looked at these things, but yeah, the number of projects that I've put up on Things is crazy. Like, yeah, 274 contributions. That means I've uploaded 274 models to Things in total. Or 47 models, but each subunit within it I think counts. That's crazy. I got followers on Things. We got 1,200 likes. I want to find out what the let's see. I don't think they have like an analytics page. Like, I think we'd have to look at model by model to see like how many times each one's been downloaded or something. But I'm pretty sure the 668 has been downloaded the most. So let's take a quick look at that. Yeah, anyways, you can use the link in the description. I think I pasted it in there, to visit Things. Here we go. Let's take a look here. Got a lot of likes. Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. So I've been with Things so long that so right now they have this feature where instead of like, you can put in like an assembly of things. You don't have to like post it as one file. But I actually predate that. So yeah, this one has 400 downloads. Man. Yeah, anyways, I've got all kinds of projects in here from all kinds of videos. Thanks a lot to Things for sponsoring. They also have sponsored the streams. I can't stress that enough that yeah. Talk about streams in a sec, but Things is the primary sponsor of our streams, and without them, streams totally wouldn't happen. And you know what? Enough beating around the bush. Without Things sponsoring, streams wouldn't happen, but I know that many of you think that would be a good thing, and we have a plan for that. Thanks a lot to Things for sponsoring. We'll revisit them in a bit. But yeah, well, the big announcement is that streams are ending on YouTube. We're moving to Twitch. That's it. Like, the people have spoken. The people have spoken, and they've spoken with their words. They've spoken with their feet by leaving the channel. Whenever I put a stream up, people have made it abundantly clear that they don't want to watch streams, that they don't like the streams, that the streams aren't good. And you know what? Like, I like streaming. I'll be totally honest. I made the biggest mistake of them all that I even called out in my How to Make a Decent Video. That is, I made the stuff that I wanted to see, not the stuff that you wanted to see. And streams are chief among that. I just lost focus. Like, the fact is, the channel is, and should always be what you want to see. And you've proven that that is ultra tightly produced videos, super razor sharp like jokes, crazy over the top projects, all with every single spare microsecond sliced out. And the streams just clash with that. So, effective immediately, streams are off of YouTube. We're over the next few days, we're going to be taking all the streams down, and we're going to be moving them over to a second channel, which it's not fully set up yet. I'd like to set up last night, but I played video games for 3 hours and I ruined everything. So we will be getting. I'll be announcing that extensively, but yeah, starting this Friday, we're going to be streaming on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Zack Freedman, and that is also only partly set up. But trust me, streams are going to be very similar to YouTube. At the end of the day, the channel should never be what I want to do. I serve you. That's right, you with the face. You don't want streams, you want videos. So the streams are ceasing to exist on YouTube. As much as I'd love to promise more videos, we're going to get to this. I'm going to do my absolute best to produce more videos, but I am fairly sure I'm at my limit. Anyways, the streams, I'm gonna take the streams private. I'm gonna be putting them on the second channel. The original idea for the streams, right, was to let you folks watch as I build projects. And by the way, to show that I mean business, I have scripted this stream. This stream is unlike our previous ones, because before I was just like, let's flip on a camera and let's build a project. But this one, I have a script, I have an outline, I got a timeline, I've got I've got clocks running. We are going to try to keep this thing as tight as a drum. And I know we had a very sloppy start. I deeply apologize for that, but it's the nature of the game here. The original idea with the streams was to let you watch as I built some projects, right? But people on YouTube folks on YouTube. And again, not a judgment. Like, you come here to watch a specific type of content, right? You come here to watch things that have, like, narrative momentum, that have production value, that have, like all the rough edges filed off. You want to see, basically, you want the streams to be a live video. And the fact is that, like, that just is fundamentally incompatible with my original idea of letting you watch as I build projects, because I just realize more and more that, like, I'm getting stressed out, being like, oh crap, like, I've been working on this thing for a whole 30 seconds. But that's the engineering. Like, the thing I've realized is that the programming, the problem solving, the debugging, the diagnostics, thinking through stuff that's stuff that quantitatively people don't like watching on YouTube. Every time that happens, I lose viewers by the dozen. And subscribers too. There's a direct. While I was looking through my analytics, I confirmed that the streams in which I have the most to think about and the most problems to solve are the ones I lose the most subscribers in. So yeah. At the end of the day, like, it's not giving anyone what they want. It's not fair to viewers. It's being too self-indulgent. It's not fair to me because I'm counting on this to actually get stuff done. So on Twitch, it's a lot more chill. Like, people. Brooke and I have been analyzing Twitch. We've been going deep and doing tons of research, and people are okay with stuff like spending a few minutes cracking a hard problem, or even turning the mic off for a few seconds to focus. I think it'll be better. Like, better for everyone involved. They'll like it. Streams on YouTube also need tons of prep. I don't think it's. I think it's really subtle. It's really subtle, but the amount of prep that I put into each stream is really high. Like, even a stream like this that was a little sloppy still took probably 2 or 3 hours to make the thumbnail, to plan out what's going to happen. I have a description to write. I have to determine if this is worth sending notifications for, and I have to make sure. Really, like, people have such high expectations on YouTube that. Really everything has to be in place. Even like this stream, I only put about an hour into prepping for, and you can see it. You can see how that played out. But yeah, this means two things. First off, a lot of time that should be spent making videos is spent getting ready for streams. Not even doing streams, just doing bookkeeping. The second thing is that on Twitch we can go live anytime. Like, there are tons of times where I've been like, oh, I have to sort my 3D prints. It would be nice if I could just go live. Or, hey, I got to repair the chromance. Like, why don't I just flip the camera on? YouTube, I can't do that. because every notification's gonna lose me members or gonna lose me subscribers, and I have to make a thumbnail and a description and all that. I have to make sure it stands alone well enough. On Twitch, you just hit the button and that's it. Surprise stream. Heyo. There's some other interesting stuff. YouTube is very, very hard to do anything innovative on. And I mean that in the strictest sense. So like on so YouTube and Twitch both have APIs that let me read chat. But I'm not sure folks realize this, but you can only actually use the YouTube algorithm maybe once a minute, which is kind of insane. Like if we want to, for instance, there's a reason why both of the devices, why all three of the projects behind me have internet in them, right? Like the Patreon Matrix has a Raspberry Pi. We've got an ESP32 in the Chromance. We have an ESP8266, I think, in the Shelf. And all of those things have internet because I wanted to tie them in with Stream Chat. But on YouTube, we can't do that. On Twitch, it's super easy. So some of the first things we're going to do are make projects tie in. The second thing is that YouTube limits the length of a stream. A stream can only be 12 hours long on YouTube. At one point, this was longer, but it's no longer the case. A stream can only be 12 hours on YouTube. And stream can only be 12 hours on YouTube, but more than that, they stop sending viewers at the 4-hour mark. They stop recommending the video no matter how long the stream is, no matter how long I tell YouTube it's going to be. They stop sending viewers at the 4-hour mark. These both cause problems. The first one, like I've been wanting to do things like stream entire 3D prints, so you can like chill out and watch a print. Can't do that on YouTube unless I'm very careful to promote it properly and make sure that it starts exactly on time. Just like not every. I'm building projects here. Like I can't keep a narrative coherence in my I can keep a narrative coherence, but lately I've been trying to do that, and it's compromised the ability to get stuff done so far that it's actually costing me more time to run them than to not run them. Anyways, enough talking about that. Some big important streams are still going to be done here. Milestones like this, like celebrations, the occasional neat project. Some stuff I'm contractually obligated to run. Any reviews and things that I think you'll find interesting will be done here. Basically, my rule is, if I think you will enjoy the stream as much or more as a regular video, that I spend a week working on a project, 2 entire days writing it, 2 entire days shooting it, 3 entire days cutting it, only if it hits that standard, if it's just as good as a regular produced video, then it ends up here. Otherwise, it's going on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Zack Freedman. First stream is on Friday. We're going to be picking up Monday and Friday. We will have another couple of regular streams here on the channel because I'm contractually obligated to do them, but this is going to be the last month. We have some really interesting stuff to do that we're going to be streaming too. We got some great stuff. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the future soon. But yeah, I missed a couple super chats. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Ablative Kitten, thank you so much for the very, very generous super chat. I super appreciate it. OMG, it's time. Sound the alarms. Light the fireworks. It's time to party. Thanks for being a wonderful content creator. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all the support you've given the channel. And I appreciate the duck parade. It's hard to be unhappy when you're staring down a promenade of ducks. A duck boulevard. Yeah. Radu, thanks a lot for rupees, maybe? Thanks a lot for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Hey, Zack, do you think resin printing optics for HUD could be possible? I know designing it would be a bit, but do you think it's doable? The short answer is no. The long answer is yes, but no. Yeah, can you print resin optics? It's really hard to make an optically perfect print. Yeah, resin often traps tiny bubbles inside it. Like, the biggest problem is that there's a limit to how thick of an item you can print in resin, because in order to expose it afterwards, basically, like, the printer doesn't finish the model. It doesn't fully solidify it. It brings it like halfway there, and then you finish the job under like the sun or UV spotlight. But remember, the resin is absorbing UV, right? It has to. If it didn't absorb the UV couldn't cure it. And because it absorbs it, that means it can't pass through very far. It can only pass through a millimeter or two before it's been absorbed. So that means you can't make thick, solid optics easily. You have to, like, hollow them out and then fill it in afterwards. That doesn't always work. But yeah, it constrains the types of optics you can make. You can kind of overexpose it to try to make it all the way down to the middle, but that can yellow it. It's hard to make perfectly transparent optics. You also need a level of dimensional stability that is really hard. I've seen resin optics, but they are nowhere even approaching the quality that it takes to make a decent heads-up display. As we're going to find out, making an expensive heads-up display has been the bane of my existence for the last year. Of all the promises I've broken, it's the one that matters the most. And we'll explain like my plan of attack on that one in a sec. We got a lot of cool faces in the chat too. Blasto Supreme from the Cyberdeck Discord. We got Shayna from Once Upon a Time Hackaday. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Shayna. Congrats, Zack. Miss you and Brooke. I miss you too. Shayna is a bird obsessed ex-correspondent from Hackaday. Maybe she's still with Hackaday. I don't remember. Anyways, yes, one of the friends I left behind when we moved out of New York and into the Colorado. So we're gonna be asking we're gonna be looking at a whole bunch of stats. I'm also gonna be answering a higher than average number of questions because that's kind of what we're here for. And most importantly, I got some of Colorado's finest. No, not that kind of Colorado's finest. I want to be demonetized, not banned. Here we've got Ellie's Brown American Ale, brewed by Avery Brewing in Boulder. I feel like I said this today. I'm running on a tremendously small amount of sleep here, and I haven't eaten anything. So, yeah. Oh, there we go. Very nice. We bought these beers for... So, like, we had we've been fostering dogs. That's another thing. I've never had pets in my life. I had a hamster when I was a kid. We never really had pets. And we're fostering dogs now, so that's new. And anyways, we adopted this dog that we've kept. His name is now the Dread Pirate Roberts, or the Dread Pirate Roberts, or the Dread Pirate Rob Barks. Alicorn's asked if you have a preferred place for Q&A. Just post it here. Super chatting increases the chances that I'll see it. If you're a member of our Patreon, post it in the Patreon only Discord. Like, post it in the secret lab because I'm going to be checking that as well. Anyways, we adopted his brother. His brother barked basically nonstop for the entire 2 months we had him. So I bought a bunch of beer to give out to the neighbors as our way of saying hey, sorry for ruining your lives by putting you into an intense state of sleep deprivation. Here's some beer. But we basically got rid of the dog the same. Basically, the dog. No, we didn't get rid of the dog. The dog was adopted by a super caring, super loving gentleman. He's so happy right now. The dog. I don't know about the person. Anyways, it got adopted basically the same day. So now we're left with some beer, and that's why I have dog beer. It's also a quite good one. It's like a nut brown ale. It's very tasty. Dubbed Out says beer on an empty stomach is always a good time. We call it the liquid lunch. Yeah, kind of the nature of the game. So yeah, let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about some numbers here. Because we're all nerds, and I know that's what we love. I spent a few minutes last night preparing some datas so that we can to put the channel in some numeros. So without further ado, let's discover what happened over the last 12 months. We're also gonna pause this part way to do a Mad Lib because I've prepared some Mad Libs. Brooke came up with this idea. It's the smartest thing she's ever come up with, and she has come up with a lot of smart stuff. I have to thank Brooke too. I didn't put that down. Anyways, in the last 12 months, We gained 250,000 subscribers, and we lost 20,000 of them. We earned our silver play button this year. Woo! So 230,000 subscribers means that we've almost tied with CNC Kitchen. We're about halfway, to beating Intexa. We're less than a third as large as Maker's Muse. We're about 1/5 of Technology Connections, and we are so much smaller than William Osman, Mark Rober, Hacksmith, Colin Firth, or Michael Reeves on their own. It's as if we never started at all. So, yeah. So like I think we're about for all intents and purposes, we're about 0% of the way to the big boys. We basically haven't put our chips on the board. But we did get 8.8 million views this year, which wasted a total of 885,000 hours of humanity's irreplaceable time in this universe. That's 101 total years, equivalent to me deleting a single human and everything they did from existence. That's right, my existence is quantitatively a net loss for humanity. This year we earned $23,000 in ad revenue, a mere $3,500 below the poverty line. Our best videos this year were, here's our top 5 in descending order: building the tasks from Mungus, top 10 3D printable tools, which just keeps catching up. The Mungus task was holding at about 800,000 for about, it was about 800,000 about 3 months ago, and the top 10 printable tools was at about 600,000, but now they're almost equal, almost 900,000. Then we got in third the 3D printed blasters, number 4th the tiny PC, and number 5 is the video about Optagon, which I realize it would probably make a lot of sense to wear for this episode. I never got around to figuring out how to set that up to do something on stream. None of those videos, by the way, none of the videos on the channel broke 1 million views. We still have not had a single video go viral, which makes me the only person I'm aware of who earned a silver play button without having a single video break 1 million views. Yeah. Speaking of videos, we dropped this year 33 fully produced videos, 12 patron exclusives, and 39 live streams. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that, especially the live streams. Because we've only been streaming for a few months, and I think we got my we got rolling in that pretty well. But yeah, we did 33 videos, which I'll be honest, I'm quite disappointed, and I feel like that number should have been higher. I hope that next year I can make more. I really wanted to stick to a video every 2 weeks. Which I guess I did last year, but it was very hard. I've been in a state of I basically busted my butt for a month to make videos. We got the videos out. I slowed the pace. We ran out of videos. I got serious again. We had a period of about a month or so where I was making a video a week. I got burned out. And I'm basically still burned out 8 months later. So, yeah, I have to figure out a way around that. I've tried a whole bunch of different ways to speed up the video production process, but none of them have worked. If anything, we've gotten slower over time. That said, our average watch time for the videos rose from, it started out at about 4 minutes for our somatic video, and now our average watch time is closer to 10 minutes. So people like our videos over twice as much as when we started. So we got some stuff going on, which I'm very proud of. I've worked very hard to do that. Again, this number, we're not trying to increase the number. The number represents people watching our videos. People love, if people like our videos twice as much, then that's why I make them. I want to make stuff you like watching. But we had milestones apart from YouTube as well. We opened our Discord, and we grew it to over 7,000 active members. That's not 7,000 total members. It's 7,000 members that have posted in the last week. In terms of total members, it's closer to about 8,500, and that's great. Our members on our Discord send over 80,000 messages and talk for over 200 total hours each month. We get 80,000 chats every single month. That's crazy. That's been holding for the last few weeks too. Last few months, I mean. It's been crazy. We ran some podcast type things. We did. I even streamed myself. The only time ever stream myself playing video games was on Discord, and we filled a room with that. That was a lot of fun. I didn't realize either. I was playing in VR, so like I couldn't see Discord. But yeah, that was fun. And then on Patreon, we gained 298 supporters on Patreon, contributing like you folks can already see these numbers. All this stuff is public. We gained 298 subscribers on Patreon who contribute over $2,500 a month to fund our projects and basically single-handedly keep food in our mouths and keep parts on the workbench. Yeah. So let's see. Let's talk about some project stats. Oh, these are good ones. This year, and these are all rough estimates. They might be wrong, and I would love to hear if I'd love to hear if I'm wrong on any of these, because these are some pretty rough estimates. But I believe this year, I used 9 Raspberry Pis, 19 Teensies, 6 Adafruit Feathers, 2 ESP32s, 1 ESP8266, and 2 Raspberry Pi Picos in projects. Pardon, this does not count projects that have been dismantled. This is only projects that are still around. I printed over 175 benchies in over 100 different materials. We moved Voidstar Lab over 2,000 miles from New York to Colorado. I lost a total of 3 contests, as in I entered I think it was the Hackaday, contest. There was the one, there was the one with the brainwave, or there was one with the haptic feedback bracelet, and there was one other that I forgot, and I lost them all so badly that I didn't even place anywhere. Let's see. We experienced not 1, but 3 massive computer meltdowns. I only made a video about one of them, but there were actually 3. And I pinched Brooke's butt over 20,000 separate times. Yeah. So this was a hell of a year. This was tricky. This is now not quantitative. These are some qualitative stats, but let me think. The video that took the longest time to make was the Among Us video. That's basically why we fell behind schedule almost immediately. In total, that video took nearly a month. Although that's only a technicality though, because the every filament videos I'm working on right now have taken much longer, but they're not out yet, so they don't count. Yeah, the Among Us video was about a month of work. It took about a week maybe like a week and a day or two to make the projects, but because of all the crazy skits and the requirements to actually play Among Us and record all that footage, it probably took about, I'd say, 2 weeks to prepare everything and then a week or 2 to cut it. It's also one of our longer ones and more involved ones. And holy crap. I mean, it paid off, but yeah, that one definitely took the longest. The hardest thing on this channel was the Pimp Scope. The Pimp Scope video where I took the $18,000 oscilloscope and I water cooled it. That project, I had to finish the entire video before we left for moving to Colorado. So while trying to pack with this rigid time box, this project spiraled out of control. It was a crazy project, required me to do all kinds of fancy camera work, and I probably, for about the 2 weeks leading up to that video, I was working. There's no way I was working less than 18 hours a day. I literally passed out. I literally passed out 2 days before before I had to have the video up, and I basically just woke up and immediately jumped to cutting it. The fact that video came together at all is nothing short of miraculous. I literally finished the video, I want to say like 6 hours before we left, something like that. Like, I basically uploaded it and then immediately tore down my computer and went to tear down the workshop. The fastest video on the channel, the one with the shortest production cycle in total, was also my favorite episode of the year, and that is the Wizardry episode. The Wizardry episode, start to finish, took about 4 days, and that's from like coming up with the I'm counting that from basically when I had to get, like, that video was sponsored by Skillshare, and I decided to get their approval for it because it's a bit of a weird topic, and my contact there was on vacation, so he didn't get back to me until like 4 days before April 1st. So I ended up making that entire video in 4 days, and it came out great. I love it. It's my absolute favorite video. I think it's great. Fun fact: I've said this in a couple of I mentioned this a couple of times, but I'm not sure I've ever mentioned on stream. That video with the alternate universe sort of standing in for real engineering was actually the original idea for the channel. The original idea for my channel was that I would talk about social issues that were important and relevant to science, tech, engineering, and math using the context of a parallel universe where there's instead sorcery, thaumaturgy, enchantment, and magecraft. And that episode was... I could put that episode together so quickly because I already had it partially written from that project. So that's how it came together so quickly. That said, that project still has the largest number of props, and it also has 3D printed things that have never appeared in any other, except for the time I'm referring to that episode. They've never appeared in any other episode. It has a number of 3D printed things. It has some crystals that I printed with resin. It's got some test tube stands that I made out of carbon fiber and wood filaments. It's got the firestones from the Fifth Element that I made out of wood filament, and then what did I do? I did something. I printed it in Cura. I used Cura to slice it, and I used the rough slicer, so it has like a rougher texture. So yeah, that's how it looked like sandstone. Yeah, that was my favorite episode. I think the best episode. Let me think. Let me think here. The best episode, in my opinion, is the most recent one. The one about where I'm showing you around my 3D printer lab. I think that's the best one. I think it's the most tightly written. It's definitely the best looking. I feel like that's the one where I finally got my got my act together. Yeah. And as for episodes, the episode that caused people to build the most projects. This is a fun one. Was the How to Get Started in Keyboards episode. According to every metric that I could find, that episode inspired more people to either get into making or to finish their projects than any other. The affiliate links in that were clicked and then purchased more than every other video combined. After that point, we had more mechanical keyboards became the single biggest, basically the most popular type of project to put in our our project chat. So, yeah, basically, I think that episode inspired more people to start and, more importantly, finish projects than anything I've ever done in my entire life, which is awesome. The most popular project on the channel is the Chromance, in terms of number of times it's been downloaded and number of times that other people have shared their finished builds with me. And you don't even have to share your finished builds. I have like... Google alerts set on things like Chromance and Somatic and whatnot, so I can get a sense of like when people build them. And that project got built a number of times, and I'm really happy about that because it's really the first time I've built an open source project and of any complexity and had people replicate it. And I think it's cool as heck. Let me think. What else? What are some other interesting fun facts that we can talk about? The most expensive episode depends on your definition of expensive. If it's in terms of how much money I personally spent, then by a massive margin it was the PC episode. I think I probably, in total on that episode, I probably spent around $2,000, maybe more, between buying replacement parts, buying upgrade stuff, getting peripherals. I needed to make a few tweaks to my equipment in order to film that properly. And the place, I lost a lot of stuff when it spilled, so I had to replace that too. So that's the most expensive. If we're talking about the most expensive in terms of if we're counting sponsored stuff, the most expensive episode is absolutely the last one, is the most recent one, because of all the printers I showed, most of the printers I showed in that episode were sponsored, as I made very clear in that episode. And if you add them all together, that'd be like $8,000 of stuff from that episode. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. So I think that's if anyone could think of anything else you'd like to hear about videos, then I would be glad to tell you. Yeah, I prepare a list of some BS, but before we do that, let's think here. I've got some Mad Libs. We got some other stuff. I pulled together our top 3 Discord projects according to number of stars and our top 10 project creating members on our Discord according to how many times their projects have been starred. And we'll get to that in a sec. But I have an idea here. Brooke convinced me to put together a Mad Lib, and I'm super excited about this. The Pimp Scope, CXOB, asks, isn't the Pimp Scope the most expensive? I hesitate. All right, so I hesitate to say that because the oscilloscope was $18,000. The oscilloscope was $18,000 when it was new. There's a giant but here, though. The oscilloscope was definitely not new. That scope was actually was from the Keysight, basically from the Keysight marketing room. If you ever look at Keysight, was it Keysight Labs? Basically, they have a YouTube channel hosted by the most righteous Dan Bogdanoff, and actually filmed not far from here. I think they're in. Where are they? They're in not Boulder. Crap, I forget. Anyways, Colorado Springs. Yeah, they're in the Spigs, and basically that the props in there are like the props on that set are basically devices that failed calibration and like were returned or damaged. Basically, they're returns and rejects and open box models that they pulled and they used to they basically give it a second life there. So that oscilloscope actually had its third life on the episode. So before it was a prop, and it was actually used on a number of their episodes, and it took some damage. It was cracked before they sent it. But yeah, the calibration was also off. So no, it was not an $18,000 oscilloscope. It was probably closer to $4,000 if you were to buy it, but I don't think anyone would have sold it. The calibration was off. I didn't make a big deal out of this, but I did have to recalibrate it and do some minor repairs in order to actually get it working again. The front panel buttons don't work, and they never have. So it's technically it's the most expensive, but not. I feel like it wouldn't be. I feel like it wouldn't be fair, I guess. Anyways. Anyways, yes. So let's do our Mad Lib. So here's what we've done here. I've taken one of my projects. I've taken the video and the description. I've kind of mishmashed them together and turned them into a Mad Lib. So here's what we're gonna do. I just realized that I don't have. I was supposed to have a D20 here, but I don't. I thought I printed a die. Oh, I gave it away. All right, well, let's use an online random number generator. Here's how this works. Here's how this works. We are going to. I'm going to read out the type of word we need, right? Adjective, etc., etc. And then we're going to get. I'm going to wait for some people to say some answers. Then we're going to pick one of the. Let's call it the. I was going to say top 20, but let's do 10. So here's what was going to happen. Roll 1d10. Nice. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say adjective. And I actually mean that. So put adjectives in chat. And as soon as we get 10 of them, or as soon as, let's say 30 seconds go by, I'm going to roll a d10, and we're going to pick one, and we're going to put it there. Oh, hey, we have dice. Hey, it's Brooke. Say hi.
Hi, Internet.
I think you're on camera. Yeah. Let me know if Brooke. Oh, yeah. Let me know if you want to see to see Brooke, if I should make her hang out in the studio. Okay, here we go. We got a pink D. What is this? D10. And just to show that I'm not BSing, I'm gonna swing this camera around, and let's turn on. Boop 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 boop. There we go. The picture-in-picture. Wait, why isn't it working? What the heck? All my USB devices like crapped out. Anyways, yeah. So let's get an adjective, and looks like we got one. That's a 7. So hang on one sec. Let's scroll back. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's sexy. All right. I just realized I have too many windows open. I need to rearrange the furniture a little. Hang on one sec. I have to rearrange the furniture or this isn't going to work. There we go. Move this over here. All right. All right. And now, dash, dash, dash. We need a noun. So let's get some nouns. Come on, noun me up. Of course. Of course. I expected these particular words. All right, that's probably about 10. You got to be quick around here. Let's roll. Number 1. What's the first one? Let me find my dashes. Oh, there we go. All right, now we need a body part. One sec. Doot. We need a body part. And got to keep it PG-13. This is a family chat. Nice try, Lanzu. All right, let's roll. Number 10. I think looks like people are actually getting into this, so I'm going to switch over to a D20 after this. All right, so let's do number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So this one goes to Matt Cirillo, who said buns. All right. And now, hang on one sec. Dash. We now need a noun that starts with the letter D. We need a noun that starts with the letter D. Yep. It's gotta be a D. And we're not gonna pick the same one twice. If we end up getting the same one for 2 answers, I'm gonna switch to another one. All right, let's roll. It's lucky number 13. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Ben with dog. All right. Next up, we need dash a verb. We need a verb. Yeah. Let's see what we get. And I unfortunately for everyone listening, here's what I'm going to do. For everyone listening, I'm going to write on a sheet of paper or something skip here, so that if you aren't interested in listening to this part of the replay, because I know it could be quite boring, you'll be able to just scrub ahead until you see me holding up that big sheet of paper that says skip here. So yeah, let's do this. Let's roll 1d20. It is a 15. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That one's boring. So we're going to pick the next. Oh, there we go. Bonk. Daniel Afonso. With bonk. All right. Now we need. Let me think right here. We need a noun, but the noun needs to describe something that's invisible. We need an invisible noun. So I'm going to go dash. We need an invisible noun. All right, that looks like it's about 20. Here we go. Number 3. We still haven't had a natural 20 yet. 1, 2. That one's kind of boring. All right, there we go. Let's give this one to Tufty 11 with ghost. There we go. All right, and now we need. Let's see. Let's go dash. All right, we now need an animal. And I get it. Yeah, humans are animals. All right, it won't be funny if it's human. We need an animal. All right, we got a whole bunch of them. Oh, man, the chat's going crazy. This is going to get us some views on the tube of the U. All right, let's roll. There we go, nat 20. What do you think? Should I fit? How about nat 20 I pick? How about I pick on a nat 20? All right, so let's see. What do we got here? You folks don't know how to spell axolotl. You got to play more Minecraft. All right, this one's going to Isaac Wiley with yellow belly sapsucker. All right. Now we need an adjective. We need ourselves an adjective. We're about halfway through. What have we got here? Got an adjective. Doesn't have to be spelled right. I get the idea. All right, here we go. Number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Matt Cirillo, you already got one in. We're going to move to the next one. C. Andrews crying. There we go. Okay. And now we need an action, like an action noun. A noun describing an action. Let's go like, gotta get our dashes in so I know where to start looking. Yes. Yes. Well, I forget the grammatical tense that we need here. Participle, maybe? I don't remember. Anyways, number 13 again. I think this die is loaded, Brooke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Sorry, Matt. I want to give everyone a chance. Aaron Stateson with spank. All right. Now we need an adjective. And I have to make myself a mark here. Let's get ourselves an adjective. Adjective, and then we have I think we have five more after this. I wanted to make these extra long to give lots of people a chance to get in on the action. All right, here we go. Oh, natural one. Brooke, pick one. On a natural one, I fall on my face, and Brooke has to pick up the slack. Brooke, pick one of the pick one of the adjectives that people have mentioned so far. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Very nice. Looks like I have a looks like Brooke says glowing. All right. Alrighty. Now we need dash. We need ourselves a noun. Let's get ourselves a noun. Is it yeeted or is it yote? Is it really yeeted? Is it yote? I think it's. Anyways, yeah. Let's get ourselves a noun. Noun. Ethan May spelled buttocks wrong. I think it's buttocks, not buttocks. S2, you're one of the mods. Let the viewers have a chance. Let's do this. Number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's Willie Fan with cat. All right. And now we need ourselves dash. We need ourselves a verb. But I got a shot in the buttocks. Let's get ourselves a verb, and then we have 3 more after this one. And then we'll discover what bizarre thing we have created. All right, here we go. Number 6. It has a line on the bottom, so I know it's a 6. So let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Eric Habib with regurgitate. I have to change this. All right. And now we need a verb that's a way to destroy something. We need a way to destroy something. Should I be wearing the heads-up display? It's not going to do anything. I feel like it's kind of boring. All right. We got lots of ways to destroy some stuff. Number 17. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, very nice. We've got Soulless Kid 22 with defenestrate. All right. And now we have, now we need, let me think here. Let's just get ourselves a noun. Let's get ourselves a little noun. DF Automaton says, he stole mine. Great, good artist copy, great artist steal, something like that. All right, let's roll. Number 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm gonna skip ahead. I'm gonna skip ahead by 1. All right, you know what? No, it's against the rules. We got Satots with Wombo. And then the last one. We need ourselves a verb. Oh, I have to pardon me for all the coughing. Let's get ourselves a verb. All right, and this is it. Number 9. I thought it was 6 again. This die is definitely loaded. Brooke, I'm not letting you use this when we play D&D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, Radu Alexi with make. But that one's kind of boring because that's what's actually supposed to be. That was the original word. So let's go to let's see. So I'm gonna reroll. Number 1. Brooke, pick one. Pick one of these verbs if you would kindly, loaf of my life. Let's see. Which one is she going to pick? And then afterwards, we'll read the terrifying thing that we've created. The Average Joe says, "You sure it's not the Wheaton curse, Zack?" I don't know what that is. Is because Wesley Crusher was. I actually kind of. I don't think he was that. I don't think that character was that bad. Okay. Brooke says smelling. All right. Here we go. Okay. This is it. All right, the Mad Lib is over. Rocco the God, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Channel-versary. I got here what's going on. We are turning, in this case, the description for the Somatic project on GitHub into a Mad Lib. So let's read up about the Sexy-matic glove. Here's the project description. The Sexy-matic glove is a wearable keyboard that doubles as a duck. It translates the motions of your buns into actions, like the somatic component of a spell in Dungeons and Doggies. Unfortunately, this project is no longer being bonked. The ghost sensor is out of production, and I can no longer hack this project around it. Consider this a starting point only, my gentle yellow belly sapsuckers. The Sexy-matic project's priorities are: control any crying computer with just a simple spank. Keep ready to use all day in the most glowing situations. Does not cause cat fatigue or interfere with regurgitation. Fast enough to defenestrate an entire wombo in less than 10 seconds. This project is still in a pretty rough state, but should still be enough to get you smelling all weekend. There you go. The Sexy-matic glove. We have a couple more. We have a couple more here, but enough is enough. Would this even fit on Twitter? I don't think this would fit on Twitter, but hey, why not? Why not give it a shot, right? Boop. Let's see. Here's our D20. So let's get on. No context here. Nope. We're about 500 characters too long. So I'll have to split this into multiples. So here we go. Split this up into pieces. There we go. We're putting it on Twitter. People are not going to understand what the heck is going on. All right. Where are we here? Let's add another tweet. All right, almost there. I think we got 2 more tweets left to do here. No, just one. All right, there we go. We've now posted the whole thing on Twitter. Very nice. Everyone's going to be like, what the heck is this? What the heck is this individual talking about? So yeah. Anyways, thank you very much. That was a lot of fun. Oh, someone liked it already. We're in business. Okay. So let's get back to our let's get back to looking at our year and our year in review. Where was I at here? Where was I at? Oh, Timothy Roller says, "You're one and Sandy on the fly. Congratulations. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it." The super chats, by the way, make a huge difference. The yeah, this is an expensive channel to run. We've got a lot of project related stuff, but it's a lot of fun. Alan Verlette says, "Happy year one, Zach. Thank you for inviting me from the Cyberdeck from you inviting me to the Cyberdeck Cafe to me running my own decentralized black hat community. You've all come a long way. We sure have. Yeah, what a year. Speaking of, I want to talk about the toys. I didn't really take this into consideration until we were pulling together this episode, but we got a lot of tools and toys this year. Important thing to remember is that when I first started this channel, I never did anything media related in my life. I've been building electronics hardcore for like a decade, but I have never done anything media related in my life. So I had the bare minimum amount of equipment. I had no experience. Everything you see here was basically put together like from the ground up this year. The only thing I brought into this whole thing is my ability to make stuff. So that said, this year we bought or received from sponsors 1. Blackmagic 4K camera, 2. Voice recorders, 4 microphones, 5 webcams, 1 capture card, which was indeed destroyed during our last stream. I've ordered a replacement. A single new PC after it melted down. 25 meters of neopixels. 25 meters of neopixels, 10 meters of dot star LEDs, and 10 meters of high color rendering index white LEDs. 50 terabytes of hard drive space, of which 46 terabytes are full. 2 oscilloscopes. 4 FDM printers with a total of 8 extruders. I think this is actually wrong. I think it's 5. We just haven't shown one of them off yet. 3 resin printers, over 50 kilos of filament, and 10 kilos of resin. 1, count 'em, 1 magnetic levitation platform, and 1 play button. Yep. That's the stuff I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah. And we also have, and then we have something I'm not so proud of. Here are a list of things that I promised in videos that I still haven't delivered on. From the wire circuits on boards video, we have the pick and place machine video. Although that one I didn't, and I guess I could explain why. Why in each of these. Anyways, that one I originally intended to go to a fab house in Long Island after the pandemic. Oh, and one set of wearer hex keys. Chrono is completely correct. Oh right. Oh no, the things hasn't been updated. I need to do that. The things command. Oh no. Yeah, this is what happens when I take a single millisecond of time not working. What? How is this? Oh, here we go. Where's it say on things? Here we go. Thanks to things for a super successful first year. Yeah, there we go. All right. So yeah, the pick and place machine. I was originally going to go to this place in Long Island, but it was a pandemic. Pandemic didn't end, so it wasn't safe. And then I moved out of there. Basically, I'm waiting for the pandemic to end, and also waiting for SparkFun to return any of my calls. If anyone knows anyone from SparkFun or emails, then please put me in touch, because they're the closest place with a bunch of pick and place machines that I think has a chance of letting me in. The second one, let's see. Oh, the Teensy Mystery Project. I promised to make a random Teensy project in the Teensy video. Oh, and 1 air fryer. Forgot about the air fryer I killed. Yeah. Let me think here. Oh, great. So yeah, no one suggested anything. I promised I'd make a project that someone suggested a comment. I've only got a single comment suggesting a project in that video, and frankly, it's all right. It's a project that a project. It was like some base. It was like a keyboard basically, and like, eh, eh, yeah. So yeah, that one probably won't be done. From the Nerf sniper video, I have to make an augmented reality Nerf scope. This yeah, I have to make an augmented reality Nerf scope. This one is on the docket. I want to do this project next year. It's super cool. It's actually a project I've sort of already done before, but not with true augmented reality or computer vision. So yeah, that's a promise I do intend to keep. From the last video, the most recent one, a tour of the resin printers. I don't know if I'm going to do this one because I don't think it's particularly interesting. You can't like modify a resin printer as much as an FDM printer, but I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'm still not 100% on my ventilation system, but we'll see. Maybe if people want it. Then we have from the Among Us video, we have the Among Us open hardware projects. I promised to release Kneecam. I am wearing shorts. I promised to release the Among Us projects open source, but that was a mistake because the amount of work that it would take to release them in a way that people can actually make them, I just have not had that much time on my hands. So I think that I'm going to have to break that promise. I don't think it's going to happen. Then we have the open hardware for the bad HUD. There's no reason that I haven't put this up. It shouldn't take that long to put up. I think it's just because I haven't had time to make instructions, but I'd like to. Yeah, that one I got to do. But yep, that's another one of my broken promises. What else do we have here? Oh, right, of course, Optigon version 2. So I promised in my Patreon rewards that if we hit a certain amount, I would make a second version of the Optigon. And that has a story behind it. No, I haven't done it. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. The problem is that I set that up around the midpoint of the pandemic. The recession turned out to be a lot worse and a lot longer lasting than I expected. The problem is that if we were to make a version of the Somatic, or a version of the Optigon, right, a version of my heads-up display, which I guess I could wear. I guess. It's not going to do anything, but it does look cool. Basically, to make your own version of this with similar specs using modern parts that are easy to get a hold of, it would cost like $800, and I decided that even though with the help of my patrons I could afford to do it myself, I figured it was just kind of gross to recommend. Kind of gross to like try to encourage people to make an $800 project. I figured it was kind of gauche. It was kind of gross. It would make people feel left out. I just figured it would have basically gives me a higher chance of being canceled and ending my career on the spot than it would have actually helping people make projects. So I've been spending a fairly large amount of time this past year researching ways to make heads-up displays that don't involve an off-the-shelf headset, and I haven't been remotely satisfied with any of them. So that project is basically like in suspension until I can figure out a way to make it. On top of that, like the financial pressure people are feeling is like is very high. Like I've been building a lot of expensive projects, but I've tried to make it very clear that like this is some combination of a joke, and it's like to an extent it's a joke. They're not really worth that much, but also most importantly, they're not intended for other people to make. I'm not intending for other people to make my oscilloscope or to make an E3D tool changer, but that would be specifically for people to build. So basically, the budget for that project has to be in the $250 range, which I don't think it's possible to build a decent heads-up display for $250. I don't even. It's just. Yeah, especially not the way I want to build it. The heads-up displays that I want to build are things that you could wear all day and that you can actually use. But that doesn't leave the quality of the heads-up display has to be very high. So yeah, that video I would love to make it. Currently, it doesn't look like it's possible. So yeah. Aerator says could just do a teleprompter instead. Well, we're talking about two separate things, right? There's the heads-up display that I'm wearing. Like, I'm fine spending $900 in a heads-up display. It's what I do. Heads-up displays got me building this stuff in the first place. Like, they're the projects that really push me forward. This is for the community. This is something that I would expect other people to make. And yeah, it's just too expensive. A Somatic V2, on the other hand, now that could be interesting. The Somatic has a lot of problems, but all those problems are related to what's a way of saying it? Parts that have gone out of print, so to speak. So, it's making a new version of Somatic isn't tremendously difficult, assuming I have time. The hardest part of that is training. Martin says, may I suggest incorporating a brain-computer interface? I'm sorry, I only build electronics that work. Oh! So, yeah, those are all the promises that I broke this year. So, I could, yeah. We could talk about how I'm going to make good on them, although I probably won't. But instead, we can talk about my real promises, the real things that I plan on doing this year. We got some good ones. First we could talk about some. First, we can talk about some videos. Yeah, talk about some videos. First video, we are going to make every filament part 2. Remember my my video on every filament? We're gonna make every filament part 2. Brooke says, except that thing you made recently that didn't work. Oh, right, but hang on, but that was supposed to not work. It worked by not working. If it had worked, it wouldn't work. Let's see right here. Shady LBX says, updating your GitHub Chromance code. Yeah, my projects are all really poorly maintained. My projects are all very poorly maintained. At the end of the day, the theme for all this is that I don't have a lot of time. I work pretty much. I basically set aside 1 hour to eat dinner and spend time with Brooke. But apart from that, on every couple days, I'll spend an hour or two playing video games. But otherwise, pretty much every hour I have is either spent working or doing something that takes work, or doing something that enables me to work, like poop and eat. Anyways, every filament part 2, all the other filaments, followed by every filament part 3 and every filament part 4. Because we ran the numbers, and if we turned all these, so I currently have 70 filaments with more on the way. I currently have 70 filaments here with more on the way, and these filaments are not simple. They have, these things have intricacies to talk about. So this video would be around 3 hours long. So I decided to split it up into 3 parts, and technically I split it up into 4 parts because the last video talked about the printer, which otherwise I would have had to talk about here. So yeah, there are 3 of those coming up. All of our streams are going to be taken down from YouTube, and they're going to be put up on our second channel. We're going to be streaming to Twitch, as we talked about earlier. We're no longer... Only special streams are going to be streamed on YouTube. I used the word stream too many times there. Let's see. Cyberdeck version 2. So Cyberdeck version 2 is going to have an interesting progression. I don't think I'm going to have time to build it the way I originally intended. So I'm basically building... So it's going to be interesting. We're going to build this thing sort of how I talked about in my How to Finish Your Projects video. We're going to first finish the right half. Right, and turn that into a macro pad. Then I'm going to build the left half, make that a keyboard. Then I'm going to build the part that holds the Raspberry Pi, and sort of turn it into a giant Stream Deck type thing. And then if we still have time, we'll add in some sort of power management, some sort of battery device. And whatever it is, I'd like to try to get that on Kickstarter at some point, so it'd be neat to run a Kickstarter if we can this year. So here's some other things we're going to do. We're going to build projects that integrate with Stream Chat, because I think that would be cool as heck. We're going to make... Yeah, we got the Every Cyberdeck version 2. We're going to do an Every Resin video. A lot of folks have been asking me about this, and to be honest, even though... In the strictest sense, the Every Filament videos have been a waste of my time, because they produce... a relatively small amount of content for a lot of effort. It takes these are expensive episodes and they take a lot of time. But the amount I have been learning doing this, like the amount I've learned through doing this project is, I've gone from basically knowing nothing about 3D printers apart from like how to repair them to going completely like I now have experience with everything from like figuring out like my what are you calling it, like calibrating what do you call like a pressure extruder advance, calibrating extruder advance, to rating G code, to adding new sensors to printers, to like doing high temperature. Basically, I've learned so much from this. I want to get that same amount of knowledge in resin. So there we go. Yeah, the upshot here, like Radu Alexi says, I meant to ask if there will be in every resin, but it sounded too expensive. It will be expensive because there aren't samples of resin, but now that I have a little more clout, I have an easier time getting a hold of samples. So that is, getting a hold of, like, basically free stuff. So the every resin episode isn't something I could see being plausible without getting free stuff, but now that I can, I think that's something I should bring to the community. It's also, unlike filament, it's not something that's very practical for other creators to make. So I think it'll be interesting. That is going to be a significantly different video than the every filament videos because you can load multiple resins into the same vat. And it's going to be as much about brewing potions as it is about making, as it is about, like, testing the stuff. So yeah, we're gonna do those. What are some other things? Oh, we need new Patreon perks. Oh my God, I haven't posted anything to Patreon in weeks. We decided as a group to make the stream replays public, and that basically cut off the only perk I could really offer. So we're in a real pickle there because I am pushed to my absolute limit, and I can't really make more content. But yeah, the fact is, patrons deserve to be, like, patrons make this channel possible. You deserve to be rewarded. So we're going to be giving you more content. I don't know what it is, but I'm open to ideas, and patrons definitely deserve special stuff, and I will give it to them. I'm thinking maybe some patron-only Q&A streams, or maybe I'll hire a video editor to... Maybe I'll hire a video editor to cut down streams into highlight reels, all that stuff. Sumia Deb says patrons get discount on merch. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Unfortunately, there's no mechanism for doing that. I could give out T-shirts and stuff. I could do merch through Patreon, but the way that works is you have to be a member for a minimum of 3 months. Not my reward. It's not my restriction. It's theirs. Have to be a member for 3 months to get a physical perk, and I don't think that's fair. So I haven't done it yet. Christopher Garcia, I can't see what you posted, but it starts with raffling, and that is the only thing specifically banned by Patreon's rules. Midnight Coasters, thank you so much for, is this a roller coaster channel maybe? For the super chat. So I put a 0.5mm hard nozzle in my printer, and I forgot to tell the slicer it's no longer using 0.4. Rip, I'm still learning. Yeah, that can sometimes work, but I can see it not working. In the opposite direction, you don't have anything to worry about. If you put on a 0.4mm nozzle and you you tell it it's a 0.5, it'll probably print just fine, which it's pretty sweet. Tim Otto, thanks a lot for the very generous super chat. $10 to offset that resin bill. It might end up being spent on filament first, but the resin's coming. I really appreciate it. So what else do we have here? Yeah. Oh, we got some interesting videos. Some interesting videos coming up. We got some definite ones here. We got the Cyberdeck V2 or whatever that turns into. That's going to be my first start-to-finish electronics video on the channel, which is cool. We're also getting, not getting to keep, but I'm borrowing an extremely expensive robot, and I'm going to turn it into my lab assistant using the power of cloud-hosted artificial intelligence, which is to say that I've downloaded every not just Stack Overflow, the entire Stack Exchange platform, the entire Wikimedia Foundation database, and basically we're running a super deep recurrent neural network on it to try to make it generate fake articles so that I can ask it for help and it can lie. So we're going to teach a robot to be sarcastic, unhelpful, and to lie. So we're going to be doing that. We might do a somatic version too. I don't think it would be a very exciting project, but I think a lot of people will get a kick out of it. Other things, so yeah, I have a real hang-up, to be totally honest, about doing what I want to do versus what I think the optimal choice is. So next year, what I want to do is to make, just make more. I love making projects. I love streaming. So that's what I'd like to do, is to just focus on making fun stuff and streaming. But that's not what we're doing, because I know better. Because I'm cursed with being a moderately intelligent dude who has a decent sense of strategy. So here's what we're going to do. First, cut the self-indulgent wank, like how to come up with ideas. These videos, I think we had how to come up with ideas, how to finish a project over a weekend. We did something about not being afraid of resin. We did something about something similar. How to finish your project, something like that. Those videos I recognize are self-indulgent. They're worthless. They're not fun to watch. People don't care about them. They don't perform well. They're going to be cut. They're never happening again. They're ending. You're never going to see another one of those. Number 2, we're going to add videos on things people want to watch. That means we're doing Nerf. We're doing stuff from video games and pop culture and real life. We're going back to the top 10 lists. We're doing more things to do with your printer and less things about printers themselves, because I have more of a. Clearly, the people who watch the channel are more users than modders. And especially, we're going to return to the Getting Started series because people really like that. We're going to do crash courses on new and more interesting hobbies. As soon as I can figure out which ones to do. We're probably going to do one on how to get started with Nerf. I think I'll do one on how to get started with electronics, etc. Next thing, we're going to focus on the things that matter, not streams. Not the you focus. YouTube as a whole doesn't care about streams. They care about videos. And the videos are going to be pumped up. They're going to be taken up to 11. We're going to better production value, sharper scripts, topics that people care more about. We're going to start being more careful to use analytics and research to find out what people are actually searching for, so I can deliver it to you. Better footage, snazzier projects, better documentation that's easier for you to make, and with every single drop of blood, sweat, and tears that I can wring out, more videos. We've been going three weeks between videos, and that's just unfair. It's unfair to you. I haven't figured out yet how to. I've tried a lot of ways to move faster without grinding myself into dust, but I've gave myself a year to mess around, and my time is up. You deserve not just better videos, but more videos. And if I can't figure out how to make them faster, then we're just going to burn more candle. Especially people who support me on Patreon. I don't feel like you're currently getting your money's worth, and I'm better than that. So more videos and tighter. But what about, here you go, tutorials. People have been asking for getting started guides on everything from Fusion 360 to soldering to programming. And I've been hesitant to make these because they're very hard to make entertaining, they're hard to make entertaining enough that people who don't care about the subject can watch them while still being watchable without being annoying. It's going to be hard, but that's my pledge. We're going to be doing tutorial videos this year, getting started guides and going deeper guides. And that is going to. That's the way of saying it. That is going to be a little rough. It's a very, very difficult type of video to make, but we're going to be working as hard as we can to make it happen. And, of course, more Nerf. People want the Nerf. I'm going to give them the Nerf. First Nerf project we're going to do is probably the augmented reality scope. Although I don't know if you folks would be interested in like just building a Nerf blaster, because the video I did on the Nerf sniper performed horribly. So I think we're gonna I gotta focus more on making them more substantial. Yeah, that was originally supposed to be, by the way, that sniper video was supposed to be getting started in Nerf, but I just was running too far behind schedule. I didn't have enough time to print enough stuff to show you how to make an entire loadout. Plus, I figured like the pandemic was having a resurgence. It was a little dangerous to encourage people to go out in person. The Nerf video will probably wait until it's safer. Yeah. Eric Habib says, I prefer to have fewer videos and you in good mental health than more content but you burned out. Well, unfortunately, I don't make money unless I make videos, and I would prefer to be burned out in a house. The second thing is that most people join this channel at around the 3 or 4 more people join the channel around the 3 or 4 month mark, give or take, somewhere around when I released the Among Us video and the Teensy video, and that means that you've never experienced me not burnt out. I've basically been in a state of pretty much continuous burnout since around that time, because the stress of trying to keep up with a weekly release schedule just burned me crispy, and finishing the pimp scope and getting all the way to Colorado and setting up the workshop so quickly pretty much toasted me the rest of the way. So yeah, I don't think anyone here has ever experienced me not burned out. This is the again. This is the hardest I've ever worked in my entire life. I missed a super chat. TKMK, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. I really appreciate it. Shipping costs killed my merch merchandise. My merch purchase, but here's to upcoming recurring revenue streams from Twitch subs. Thank you very much. Yeah, the way it worked on merch, yeah, the merch is new. The merch is new, and well, YouTube really only gives me two options: Teespring and what's the other one? Teespring and some other. And of the two, Teespring gives me a bigger cut, so I use them. I know their international shipping is quite steep. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. The channel's not the channel's not big enough that I can. Pardon. The channel's not big enough that I can browbeat YouTube into letting me set up my own custom merch shelf. Otherwise, I'd be using probably Big Cartel, something of the neighborhood. Yeah, Souls Kid 22 says I found you on the Wire Circuits on Boards video. I'd love to make those, but that type of video, that was such a weird video because it only took me about a day to research and a day to write, but it took over a week. Took over a week just to. What's the way of saying it? It took over a week just to find enough assets and B-roll that I could give you things to look at without getting copyright struck. So currently I don't have the ability to do videos like that because I don't have enough hours in each day to find enough assets to make that work. So at some point I'd like to do more of those like educational videos, but I'm going to need a team to help me research and find assets, and I currently am not. The channel's about 1/5 the size I'd need to pay other people. So yeah, it's part of the fun. Let's see. What are some other interesting things? We should probably talk about things. Yes, let's do a word about things. I have some notes here on things as well. So yeah, Things is sponsoring this video. Things is our YouTube Things is your place to find and host all of your 3D files if it's in 3 dimensions. Things is a pretty good place to put it. So I put up all my projects on Things. You can see it's kind of like a history lesson almost. All the stuff I used to sell on Etsy is now available for free for you to download on Things. We got everything here from we got the Data Blaster. I put the whole thing up on Things. Oh man, we got the Data Blaster. We've got the stuff from the PC. We got Nerf stuff. We got all the extruder spinners from that episode. We got mechanical keyboards, and it all loads super quickly. The site's super easy to use. If you want to upload your own files, you don't have to worry about making fancy pictures. Although, if you want to, they support them now. And if you're on a phone, you can look at all this stuff in augmented reality, which is pretty sick, and even searches for similar models. And lets us do comments and stuff. Things have been super helpful for the channel, and Things and I have actually really grown up together. They're some of the first sponsors in the channel. They've been sticking with us for like almost the entire channel's history, and Things themselves actually had a major milestone. They raised a major Series B from I think KPMG, and in part it was because of how the popularity they've gained through. I'd like to think I helped at least a little bit there. So yeah, I've actually been chatting with them a lot about their future, and yes, they do plan to make money. No, it doesn't involve ads, and yeah, without their support, I wouldn't be able to do this full time. The channel probably would have come apart because I would have had to do full-time work for clients and full-time work on YouTube, and something would have given. It probably would have been YouTube, but we have a big announcement to make as well. Things and Lulzbot are sponsoring a big contest. We're going to formally announce this soon, but you folks get the sneak peek. We're doing a wearables, a printable wearables contest in October. So I think the contest is going to end either the first or second week of October, and the goal and the challenge is to make wearables. Doesn't have to be a wearable computer. It doesn't have to be fashion. All it has to do is involve a 3D printer and be something you wear on your body. Can of course involve things that aren't 3D printed. And we are giving away a kick-ass prize package. I want to say we're giving away a Lulzbot. We're giving away the newest Lulzbot printer, designed to my specs. It's huge printer. You can print like like a Master Chief's entire helmet on that thing, and yeah, yeah. It's got like we're getting it's gone all out with like a touch screen, filament runout sensor, glass NPEI plate, and I want to say 5 kilos of custom filament from Greengate here in America. It's recycled PETG filament. Anyways, if you want to get started on your wearable project, we're going to be announcing that soon, and that that is going to end on the first week or second week of October, so that I can make a Halloween video featuring the best entries to the contest. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. Thanks to Things for sponsoring Void Star Lab, and you're going to see the Lulzbot printer soon. They sent me a copy of it so I can show you what you folks are going to win, and I'm looking forward to that, because back in the day, oh man, when I got started building this stuff, like the printer everyone had was a Replicator 2, but the printer everyone wanted was a Lulzbot Taz. And somehow they're still around, and they're still making printers. And there's this one it's got some crazy features. The Z-axis is on a belt, which makes it ridiculously fast. I don't know why there aren't other printers that do that, but it has detachable tools, not like my tool changer where it detaches automatically, but if you want to switch from one nozzle to another, or even one entire extruder or tool to another, you just undo 3 thumb screws in the back. It's super, super cool. Anyways, yeah, thanks to Things, make stuff happen. Yeah, the people want the Voron. I might do a Voron, although I suspect that by the time I can fit it into the schedule, I think by the time I could fit into the schedule, the hype would have died down. So it looks like the Voron does that as well. Ah, cool. It's pretty sick. It is a very fast printer. I'm looking forward to doing some quick prints on that. Yeah. I spilled my lunch a little bit. I don't have any paper towels nearby. Alrighty. So what else can we? So what else we got here? We have another Mad Lib that we can do. We have another Mad Lib. I talked a little bit about what we'd be doing in the future. But yeah, some. Yeah, I think our progress last year, like we made very fast. So, it's kind of this is kind of bittersweet for me, because like on one hand, the channel took off running, right? Like I went from like basically starting the channel sort of to having to some degree having my chips on the board on YouTube in a year, right? Like, we got effectively 200,000 subscribers in this last year. We started with a few. I started with around 40,000 from a Nerf video I did, which is terrible, and it's still up. But it's kind of bittersweet because most of those viewers came in the first part of the year. Honestly, your videos lately haven't been doing very well. Even though I feel like the videos have been doing better. I feel like my ability to make quality videos has improved. Like my writing, my cinematography, my editing have improved, but the performance of the videos hasn't been great, and the channel's growth has largely stalled. So I'm hoping it has something to do with the algorithm, and like because people don't like the streams, YouTube's punishing the rest of the videos. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating because we're at this point right now where like the channel can keep the lights on, but it's not channel's keeping the lights on, but like it's not enough that it's paying for both Brooke and I to work on it full time and also save up for retirement. So yeah, it's frustrating, like because like I need to get these numbers up, but I've had a really hard time doing it. So on one hand, like but on the whole, like the amount of progress you made this past year is staggering, and I'm super proud of it. It's been super exciting. This past year feels like a decade, but man, I have to improve. Like we're at this awkward position in the channel because there's more work than I can do, but there's not enough work that I can pay more people's salary. So I have to increase. So I have to like bring the channel to a point where we can get employees. I don't really want to. Like I don't like being a boss. I'd rather just make stuff. But I gotta take a day off. I gotta take a day off. It's unlikely to happen. I took a few hours off over the weekend. The degree to which it set me back is unbelievable. But Yeah, so I think this past year has been a real adventure. I've learned a tremendous amount. Uh, and yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. Like there's a big difference here. I'm sorry if I'm bumming anyone out. There's a big difference, but big difference. Like, yeah, streams are going bye. People don't want them. They're no longer existing. I hear you, folks. At the end of the day, I made the biggest mistake, and I should have known better because I made a video on this about like how to make good videos. At the end of the day, I made things that I wanted to make, and that is not fair to you folks. You folks are You folks are giving me your time. You don't want to. You don't want to watch me. You don't want to see me. I have to make. I want to make what you want to watch, not me expecting you to watch what I want to make. So that's what we're going to do. The big difference is that this time I actually know how to make videos. When we got started, I was real bad. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this next year. We have a lot of interesting projects. We have tons of filaments over here to build them with. Yeah, unfortunately, because I took 3 hours off last night, this is about as far as I wrote. So all I have left is another Mad Lib, and then, I don't know, I guess we could field questions from Discord and from chat. And all that stuff. Yeah, I don't really know how to do, as you can tell, I don't really know how to do a party. Yeah, I'm not a, yeah. I don't have a very good sense of, the hardest part of doing all this stuff is I have virtually no sense of what other people find fun. So I still don't really understand why people tune in and watch. But I'm working on it. Look, every day I'm trying to make these things better and better, things you want to see. So without further ado, let's do some without further ado, let's do another Mad Lib. This is a good one. Is everyone is everyone ready? Everyone ready to rock? Here's how this goes. Again, for those who are new here, I'm going to read out the type of Mad Lib, like the type of word that I need. What happened to the die? Did I lose the die? I think I lost the die. I'll find it later. We have more. So we're gonna read out the clue, as it were, and then I'm going to roll a die, and we're gonna pick whoever gets. Brooke says, "You lost my die." Yeah, I'll find it. We just cleaned the place up because I tried to get I wanted the dog to hang out here. So I cleaned the place up and I vacuumed it so there wouldn't be any plastic schnitzels for the dog to eat. But then he peed in the kitchen, so he's banned from outside life forever. Anyways, I'm going to give you a word. And, yeah, I'm going to give you a clue. You say the word. We're going to pick one at random. And, yeah, the die was loaded anyways. So, first, let's get an adjective. Let's get ourselves an adjective. Dat dude says, "I'd like to see you make a glove that makes drum noises when you tap a finger." That would be pretty funny. I get a lot of ideas that, like, I get a lot of ideas that, like this one, are really cool on paper. I have a really hard time figuring out how well they will translate to a video that gets hundreds of thousands of views. Like, it's hard because I don't know whether yeah, it's hard because, like, there's a question of whether I can build it, but there's also a question of whether hundreds of thousands of people will click on it. Let's see. All right, looks like we have a few. Let's roll. Oh, let's put our. I think. Let me make sure we have our. Oh, did I just turn it off? That's not what I wanted at all. Oh, that's the thigh cam. All right, let's do this. Number 7, lucky number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tufty 11 with depressed. All right. Now we need a body part, and remember, folks, keep it PG-13. Let's get ourselves a body part. Keep it PG-13. Come on, folks. All right, here we go. Number 1. I rolled a natural 1, so I fall on my face. Brooke, pick one of these body parts. Pick one of these body parts for us to put in this mystery Mad Lib. Right. What do we got? Let's, spleen. All right. Excellent. Okay. Now we need an adjective. Let's get ourselves an adjective. Preferably a high-tech sounding adjective. The higher tech, the funnier. I'm seeing that our huh. All right, I guess not. Here we go. Let's roll. Steven says you should do a collaboration with another YouTuber. That way we can cross fan bases and get more viewers. I don't. The first off, I don't have nearly enough clout to get other YouTubers to work with me. I'm not that big. Second thing is that the amount of time and work that takes is astronomical. I don't think I could finish a collaboration video in a month, let alone 2 weeks. Less, actually, because it would have to get approved by the sponsor. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Let's roll. Number 3. Here we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Slimy. All right. Let's see. All right. Now we want... Let me think. I put noun here, but that's kind of boring. I should do something more... Do something better. Let's get ourselves a proper noun. Let's get ourselves a proper noun. A proper noun is anything that describes a person, place, or thing that you would normally capitalize the first letter of in the English, if you're speaking English. My beer is getting warm. Let's get ourselves a proper noun. Let's keep it fun. Veldurg says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Don't worry about not being well known enough. That's not really the issue. The issue in that respect is that the time I spend trying to convince another YouTuber to work with me and then making sure they follow through with it is not time that I really have. It's mostly that when you involve other people with a project, it slows you down. Not just like, what's the way of saying it? Like, when you work with other people, it raises the ceiling, but it increases the time it takes you to get there. Multiple people can make things that a single person could never accomplish, but multiple people could never make something as quickly as a single person. In this guy's opinion, at least. Also, yeah, especially because I don't have a lot of experience working with other people, especially on a media project. Remember, I'm not a professional media guy. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't even know how you transfer. I don't even know how you transfer all those video files back and forth. I mean, one of our videos is like, it's like, one of our videos could easily be like 800 gigabytes of footage. I have no idea how you transfer that to other people. Number 7. Plus, I'd have to basically write 2 videos because, you know, no one's gonna agree to do more work with me. Like, I'd basically be the deal would be I'd be helping write their video in addition to mine. So let's see, number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Winston Churchill. Excellent. Let's get ourselves a verb. Let's get ourselves a verb. This is going to be a good one. I think I might have... All right. Let's see. Let's get ourselves... let's see. I forgot to do some dashes. Veldurg says flash drives. No, you can't use the mail. The mail takes days to show up. Even if you overnight it, like, that still means you're going to have like a multi-day turnaround time if you have to reshoot anything. No chance of nailing it in the first shot. All right. I think we have a few. I'm actually going to... Oh, it looks like we have a couple of super chats that I missed. Akelia, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Hap channel anniversary. And a hap anniversary to you too. I really, really appreciate it. Let's roll. This is number 14. Number 14. Let's see. I'm going to go from the first one up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. John Hart says masticate. Yeah, algorithm, pay close attention. That's masticate, as in chew with your mouth. Usually food. All right. And now we need a... Hey! Thanks so much to my mom for giving me a rather large super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much to my mom for giving me an enormous super chat. Happy YouTube-versary. Really proud of what you and Brooke have built in one short year. Wishing you both the energy and health to keep building, creating, and inspiring. Love, Mom, Dad, and Micah. That's so sweet. I feel so terrible. I haven't called you in weeks. I have been working so hard. Every day, pretty much every day, I look up. I'm like, oh crap, I have to call them, and I'm like, oh crap, it's 9:30. That means it's 11:30 where they are. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the family. Hope you're having a great time in Florida. I'm sorry for not calling more often. I really need to. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much. That was extremely generous. Let's get an adjective. Something you'd use to describe a person. Let's get an adjective that you could use to describe a person. Aw, look at all these chats in heart. Look at all these hearts in chat. Aw. Yes, let's get an adjective we can use to describe a person. Thank you so much. Florida man. Excuse me, we use Florida person now. They do always seem to be dudes though, don't they? You know why it's always Florida man and not different state man? Because Florida's police blotter is open to the public, so it's super easy to write news reports on it. Pardon. All right, here we go. Number 4. Number 4. 1, 2, 3. All right. Looks like we've got Taman244 with Curly. All right, and now, let's see. Now let's give ourselves a noun. Let's do a little noun here. I made this one a little bit bigger. I made this one a little bit longer, so it's more fun. No, John Hart says, "Nope, all Florida people are Florida men." Jared Inyaga says, "All Florida men are definitely Florida people." Got a little Venn diagram going. All right. Get ourselves a noun. All right, I think we got enough. Let's roll. Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lenzuo4 says couch. All right, let's get. Spider, thank you so much for the super chat. Keep up the good work. Love from Switzerland. Well, love from Colorado. Let's get an adjective. This is going to be a good one. Let's get ourselves an adjective. Oh crap! I was supposed to hold up a sheet of paper to tell people what to skip to. Tell you what, it's in the comments. I'll put it in the description. I'll put the thing in the thing, as I have been known to say. Here we go. Oh, the beer's going to block my roll. Number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like Taman got it again, so we're going to re-roll. Natural 20, I get to pick. This is a good one. All right. We got Funky Freak with cringe. Oh man. I should have counted up the number of times people called me cringe, because it's a lot higher than I'd like. I don't. Meanwhile, let's get ourselves a little verb. Let's get ourselves a verb going. So many people have called me cringe, and I don't think that's fair. It's not an ego thing. Like, sure, I use a lot of puns. All right, fine. But like, compared to Star Wars Kid, compared to Leave Britney Alone, compared to compared to the entire manosphere, like, I don't even come close to cringe. Awkward, definitely. Corny, certainly. But cringe, I definitely am not that. It's not that bad. I know I'm being I'm being corny. I'm not trying to be serious, and then it comes off as corny. Yeah, I disagree. I disagree. I don't think it's. I think the word cringe is used either the word cringe is used too readily, or people cringe too easily. I think maybe it could be, are the special snowflakes actually too sensitive? Is that why? All right, let's see. Number 13. Lucky me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wizardry with absorb. Ah, very nice. All right. And we need an adjective. We have a few. This is a bit of a longer one. I think we have 5 more after this, but it's worth it. Let's get ourselves an adjective. The word cringe is definitely overused. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't. I think people are too sensitive now. I mean, I don't know if like the word, like, it could be that the word has just changed meanings, because like I am really really old. Could be the word has just changed meanings, or it could be the people are just like the presence of social media could be enabling people to judge each other so regularly and so aggressively that it's the incentive is now to just pound down anyone who you can make fun of even a tiny bit. So it could be like inspired by like social media, where kids are just judging each other so much that even a slight deviation from what's acceptable is like painful and cringe. So it could be a change in the winds. Who knows? It could just have become memeified. That's true. That's true. Valdarg says memes rarely repeated. Cringe just became a meme. It could be. I hope not. That was an important concept that we may have lost. All right, let's roll. Number 7 again. I don't like that. We're gonna do 19. That's better. Yes, I did this in my real D&D campaign. I need this to be more random than true randomness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. Marty with constrictable. All right, let's see. All right, now we need any word, except it's got to be an uwu speak. We need anything in furry uwu speak. And suggest more, because I'm actually going to pick 2 of these. I'm gonna pick 2 overly cutesy words from this. Yep, we need a few more. I'm gonna pick the first one, but then we're gonna pick the next one starting from that point. Number 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we got By Coleman with, or no, wait, I'm wrong here. We got Matt Cirillo wins again with Kwambui. And let's do another. 17. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 15, 16, 17. Mr. Sabotage CV says Sawi. All right, the last thing we need is a word that rhymes with duck that is not duck. Duck is not allowed. Also remember that the bot will just remember YouTube blocks any sort of profanity. So yeah, we need any word that rhymes with duck, but isn't duck. All right, here we go. Last one. Number 10, right in the middle. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Have board has it with suck. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is a description of our latest. This is the description of my latest wrist mount. Wait, not wrist mounted. This is a description of my latest watch project, the Depressitron. The Depressitron is a massive spleen-mounted slimy watch with 4 expansion slots. Equip any combination of Winston Churchill sensors, masticating motors, and curly enhancement modules, then stun the crowd by equipping an RGB couch. This ultra cringe, extremely absorbable, adds constrictable capabilities as well as style. Unfortunately, I made a bunch of Kwambui mistakes on the schematic, and I fixed them with Sawi. I'll deal with that sometime. Maybe, probably not. Suck it. Yep, there you go. That's the description for the Depresstatron, available on GitHub. Available for only 99.9 easy payments of $9.99. The Ninja Scientist says, "Where the hell can I buy one?" The real Depresstatron has been inside you the whole time. Ultra cringe. Yeah, I thought it was Brooke came up with this idea. Great. Ooh, oh, AOA. What? Yeah, Shoggoth9T says we should play this more often to prepare an April Fool's video next year. I really like the idea of revisiting the Wizard World for the next one, but maybe I'll do a different alternate reality. Another idea for April Fool's was to just switch the entire channel over to a makeup channel. But who knows? Anyways, yeah, it's been a year since I released that video and kicked all this crap in motion. Had a lot more support than I expected, and a lot of that comes from Brooke. I mean, when I told Brooke that I wanted to do this, like when I told Brooke that, like, hey, I'm thinking it's getting serious about YouTube, you know, because we can't find clients, then she immediately supported me from day one. Like, didn't like the response, like, yeah, she just immediately supported me from day one. I've never, what's the way of saying that? Like, it's just something I wasn't expecting. I always thought that, like, I don't know, like, the relationship between a husband and a wife would be that, like, you know, like, I was expecting more of, like, are you sure about this? Well, it looks like you've run the numbers, and it looks like they work. So, I guess, but please don't spend too much money on this and try to get it done in the next few months. But no, from day one, Brooke was like all in, gung-ho, like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Go for it. And, yeah, without her, I would have just done the research and then quit because the risk was too high. But Brooke supported me 100% the whole way. And without that, I would have just doubted myself too much. And without her being there to, like, without her being there to constantly, like, I don't even know the right words for this. That's how much of a negative Nancy I am. But, like, yeah, without her there to kind of, like, get my head straight and, like, make kind of, you know, and I fall into, like, a self-flagellating insecurity spiral. She's always been there to, like, help pull me out of it and keep me focused and just remind me how well we're doing. And, yeah, without her, the channel 100% would have either never started or fully ended. So, yep, DF Automaton sums it up. Brooks the real MVP. But also the community. Like, a huge thanks to the community for being so supportive. I can't believe like, that's the part of this whole the Discord and the people in chat and, like, this whole community. That's the part of this that I find the most surprising. Like, if you know, for most of my life I was like, you know, I was like super antisocial, very few friends, not, you know, like, you know, most of what people, you know, I had it's a way of saying it. Didn't know when to shut up in conversations, so, like, most of what people told me was stop, you know, most of my feedback that I got was stop talking. So yeah, the weirdest part of this whole thing though is that I have a community that isn't just here for what I make, that they're actually like here to support me, and I never thought that was something that I even had available to me, like that would ever be part of my human experience, let alone, be able to do. So thank you so much. As for yeah, if I had gone back in time, right? If I had gone back in time and said, "Hey, Zach, I'm you from the future," I'd be like, "Oh, all right. You're kind of what's up with the hair?" You're like, "The hair's all right, but guess what? I am a full-time YouTuber." I'd be like, "Ah, that's neat." Yeah, I make projects like I built this heads-up display. I built a data glove. I'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Like, yeah, we got 230,000 subscribers in our first year. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I built a community with 7,000 people that I talk to all the time, and that's the point at which I'd be like, "Oh, you're fake. Hell no, get back in that time portal." That's the point I wouldn't believe. So, yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot. So yeah, that's it for all the stuff that I had lined up, and I know how. What's up? Why is my wife is barging in to be in love with me? Aw, thank you, Loaf. Yeah, this wouldn't happen without her. Not even close. Not even close. I would never have started, and if I had started, I would have quit. But yeah, without further ado, this is all the prep I have. I know how YouTube stream viewers think about momentum stalling, so we're going to immediately jump into answering some questions. I asked some questions from our beloved members on our beloved channel supporters on Patreon using our Discord. I probably should use Patreon itself. I didn't want to because it's the last day of the month, and generally, if you remind Patreon supporters that they're supporting you at the last day of the month, they'll usually cancel their subscription. Pardon. So yeah. Anyways, I got the secret lab open, and oh, all right. So the first thing I have to share is looks like a chicken tender. This is how to make a chicken tender. I guess. All right, that's S2's contribution. Let's see. Ooh, Zack asks, we got two questions. What's your favorite project I've done? What's my favorite project I've done, and what's one I've wanted to do for a while but haven't for whatever reason? These are both tricky questions. Oh man, I feel like every time I answer what's my favorite project, I change the answer. So it's just really hard. My absolute favorite, I mean, the correct choice is the Among Us projects because they're really what made the channel succeed. We were growing, but not very quickly, and that project was the one that kind of turbocharged it. So that's the important one. In terms of personal preference, I mean, it's really hard. The Data Blaster Cyber Deck came out exactly the way I wanted it to. I think that project's so cool. It's one of those projects like my computer that I just find myself like sitting in front of at night going like, "Oh, this thing is so cool. This thing is so cool." The one I'm very proud of is the E3D tool changer. I thought that project would be above my ability because I'd never done anything low level on a 3D printer before. I've only, followed Prusa's instructions. So, yeah, very proud of that. As for a project I've wanted to do for a while, but I haven't. I mean, it's hard. I do whatever I kind of like, I do whatever I want. It's there are projects that I would like to do, but I just can't under the constraints of the channel. And yeah, there are a lot of those. Second version of Optagon is probably the biggest one. Like that's one of them. It would be neat to revisit some of the projects. There's stuff like pardon me. Ah, man, projects like drones. Honestly, I think I think that the projects that I've wanted to do but I can't for whatever reason are food. I know this is kind of a weird answer, but I used to cook all the time. I haven't. I've cooked maybe twice in the last 8 months. I just like the channel is just so time consuming. I don't have time to cook anymore. So yeah, if I could do any project, it would be, I don't know, making some more. I don't know, make more bread, make more awesome stews. Yeah, I just don't have time for that stuff anymore. Brooke's been taking over the cooking, and she's become extremely good at it, and I'm really glad about that. John Hart, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy anniversary, Zack and Brooke. Love the channel, love the projects, love the humor. Keep it up. I try. Keeping these videos funny it takes like 3 days to write a video, because as anyone who's tried to write comedy knows, I didn't know this. I'd never written comedy before I started this, but apparently it's very hard to write a comedy script in one sitting. Like, even if you're super inspired, you end up writing like 20% gems and 80% garbage. So you have to revisit it over and over again to polish the turds and add in more material. I really appreciate it. Cesar Pazzi asks, what skills do you need to be a developer engineer like yourself? That's kind of a tautology, right? Because whatever skills you have are what you engineer. So you got it backwards. It's not so much what skills you have to develop to do it for a living. It's what will people pay you, like what can you do that people will pay you for. You could be a mercenary. I mean, there's always a demand for more coders. There's always a demand for people who can fix other people's mistakes, so to speak. But yeah, honestly, my skill is having it sounds so stupid, but my skill is having a wide variety of skills. I was told I was told many times throughout my life that you can't be a generalist, that the world only wants specialists, so I specialized in being a generalist. I went out of my way to learn as many different skills as possible and use them in as wide a context as possible. So that's one way of going about it. That said, I'm not convinced that my old job exists anymore. So be very careful. The modern world changes too quickly to take people's career advice seriously. You're pretty much don't it's not the specifics like what should I learn that matter. It's the high level, like what plans did you make? How did those pan out? What trends did you see? How did you predict them? Did they end up working that way? Find out what, another important thing is what predictions did people make that failed? It's just as important to find out it's equally important to find out what did people expect that failed as to what people expected that came true. Everyone remembers the things they were right on, but the important ones are the ones they were wrong on. Let's see what else. David Kurtz, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. I really appreciate it. You represent the side of me that loves building, tinkering, and teaching, but you're even more unbridled and adventurous, which I admire. I try. It is really, really hard to keep that spirit under this ridiculous pressure. It's hard to stay unbridled when I basically have no time for do-overs and I have to crush each project exactly on schedule, maximum speed. The rate at which I build a project for this channel is about 5 times faster than the rate at which I did for a client. And I need to double that, give or take, in order to get on the video week schedule I want. So it's hard, but I'm working on it. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that you like the results. Let's take a look at another couple ones here. Another couple questions. What else do we got? What's some other stuff here? It's not a question, but I like it anyway. Sebastian Jimenez says, I just want to say thanks for being the parasocial role model for another maker geek with ADHD. Oh man, that does seem to be sort of how it's shaping up. I have a bit of that Jordan Peterson mentality, and like you shouldn't allow what's the way of saying it? I've always viewed ADHD as something that I try to. I've always viewed it as a disease to cure, and that's kind of like the mentality that I work in. And it's through a combination. But on the other hand, I also believe that like what matters in a person is what they do, not. That's it. Like you are whoever you want inside your own head, but the thing that matters to other people is how you interact with them and how they interact with the stuff you make. So I try really hard that, like, even though, yeah, I got some pretty nasty ADHD, I want to make sure that it doesn't affect the rest of the world at all. So I want to make stuff as if I didn't, and I guess I end up sharing a lot of coping techniques and a lot of stuff. I don't want it to become a core part of my personality, though. I don't like the idea of being defined by a deficiency. And again, like, that's like how I view it personally. Like, I don't think there should be any value. I don't think there should be any value judgment attached to that. I'm not. I don't judge anyone else for any. I don't judge anyone else for any of their. I don't know the politically correct way to say it, but like I want to, you know, ADHD is something that I fight with a lot, and it's a real thorn in my side, and I work as hard as I can to try to get over it. But I hope that I succeed to the extent that it isn't it's a subtle part of my personality, I guess. Yeah, I try. Anyways, Shoggoth19 says, it's all fun until imposter syndrome hits. You'll never get away from imposter syndrome. Just remember that everyone else is... Just remember that, again, it doesn't matter who you think you are. It matters how other people see it. And get out of your own... And the other thing... The fine point on that is get out of your own head. Like, you can't say, oh, everyone hates me, unless you have evidence that other people hate you. So force yourself to be rational. You know, that's kind of... And at the end of the day, there's certain things like, I don't know, like reading, getting really into the SCP Foundation opened me up to the idea of cognitohazards, things that are dangerous and harm you just for knowing them. And I think stuff like imposter syndrome is one of those. It's a dangerous concept to even think about. So try to avoid it. Yeah, just remember that, like, I don't know. Like, I guess my mentality is like, if I'm beating myself up about whether I'm a good person or not, then if I'm beating myself up over like whether I'm a good person or not, I just remind myself that no matter what I do, I'll never be a good person. Like, a good person is someone who does good things. So like no matter how good I act, I'll never be a good person. No matter how crappy my projects are, I'll never be a bad engineer. I'll just be a guy who makes bad projects. So yeah, it's challenging though, especially on YouTube, when every single shortcoming, every single mistake, every oversight, everything is pointed out by people and also quantified in data. Like, remember, I get an hour by hour readout of how well my video is doing compared to my other videos. Like, I'll check back and it's like, oh, this video is only performing as well as half your recent videos. And then I come back later, it's like, oh, this video is only performing 25% of your recent videos. So like, every single mistake I get thrown in my face immediately, and on top of that, I don't even know what all mistakes are. So I'm working on that. It's hard. There really, when it comes to content creation, there really is no victory. There's just you fighting as hard as you can, finding and fixing every problem you can find, and just hoping it plays out. Because I know right now I'm doing a lot of stuff wrong for the channel, but I'll be damned if I can figure out what it is. Marty says, working up to a Zack-esque Iron Man suit piece by piece. I guess, like, working on part by part. That's one of the more common projects that people ask me to make, and I have no interest in making an Iron Man suit. First off, I find the process of prop making just needle in my eye terrible. Like, the problem is, these are physically large projects, so I have to print tons of stuff, and all the prints have to be perfect. They have to be, like, I have to finish them all, I'd have to finish them all, because, like, when it comes to cosplay, the thing that people want to see is verisimilitude. They want to see the thing to be identical to the item on screen. So you can't cut a single corner. Like, you have to, like, Bondo the prints, you have to, like, apply your paint perfectly. You have to put clear coat on it. All the pieces have to fit together right. They all have to be the right proportion. It's just so much work and so much tedious painting and sanding and gluing. It seems like such an intensely joyless experience. I'm not going to say I wouldn't do it, but I would need some serious incentivizing to be that much of a mercenary. Geek Boy says, life in YouTube is easier if you ignore data and facts. Yeah, until you run out of money. Yeah, it's part of the It's unfortunately it's the nature of the game. The important thing to remember is that certain stats. The important thing to remember when it comes to analytics is you have to constantly keep in mind which of these are under my control and which aren't. For instance, number of views on my videos is not under my control, or rather, it's It's not under my control, right? Because it depends on the number of people YouTube shows my videos to, the number of impressions, which I have literally no control over. I can't affect YouTube in the slightest on how many people they show my videos to. But click-through rate, the number of people who see my thumbnail and click on it, I do have control over that. So that is something I can take seriously. I can't beat myself up over a video not getting many views if the click-through rate is high, because I mean, I did the best I could. YouTube just isn't showing that video to people for whatever reason. So you have to constantly think of which of them matter more than others. For instance, critical, the amount of time people watch my videos, right? Like, at the end of the day, I make videos because I want people to watch them, right? So if I see that a certain video is only, like, if I see that a certain video, people are only watching like 5 minutes of it, right? That's bad, because I want people to, like, first off, if people are watching any less than 100%, that means that the video wasn't worth watching. And to me, that's a grievous failure, because, I mean, that means I wasted your time. Like, if I show you something and you aren't interested in it, I wasted your time. Like, watching my video was a net loss for you. So I consider getting that number to 100% my maximum priority. And same with streams. Like, people are only watching, like, that. At the end of the day, the reason I'm moving the streams off of YouTube is because people are only watching them for 15 minutes, which seems like a lot, especially compared to my other videos. But the average watch time for a Twitch stream is 95 minutes. The average watch time for a YouTube stream is 45 minutes. So I'm really bad at streaming. But at the end of the day, like, these numbers are important because I want to make stuff you watch. Right? Like, it's the same as, like, here, another important number is the number of downloads and click-through, number of times links in my description get clicked and the number of times people download my projects, right? I want you to make my projects. That's why I put them up. So if people aren't making my project, that means that I have made a fundamental mistake. I've made something that people are interested in making. So on the flip side, though, it works in the opposite direction, too. Like, if YouTube gives you this, like, YouTube shows you on a second-by-second basis how many people who started watching the video are still watching the video. And when I see a spike, that's great. I mean, like, that's how I know that I got to put more of that in my videos. That's good. That's serious business. Yeah. And, yeah, it's things like people talking on our Discord. Like, basically, like, the metrics that count are the ones that capture the thing you're trying to do. And there are metrics that I would like to have but don't. There are things, for instance, like YouTube just added this. I haven't really had a chance to go deep on it, but YouTube only recently added what I consider the most important stat in the channel, which is number of my videos people watch. Like, I want people to like my videos so much that they watch them one after another. If people are just coming in, watching one video and leaving, then I'm failing them. On the flip side, even if like the click-through rate is low, even if the watch time is low, if people are watching my videos one after another, that's good. That means my purpose here on YouTube is being fulfilled. I'm making things people care about. So yeah. Anyways, I missed some chat skis. Thanks a lot to the Real Hubster for a very generous chat. You're truly an authentic person. Oh, sorry about that. You're truly an authentic person. Congratulations on all the achievements you've accomplished this year. That means so much to me. Thank you. I try to put a level of authenticity in. Oh, a lot of insecurity in play on me. Yeah, I try to make it authentic because, like, I don't know. I feel like I'll never be cool no matter what, so might as well go all in, right? Like no reason to play a character because, you know, there's no victory here. But on the flip side, I think that this streaming and making the videos has sort of fed into each other along with me as a person. Like, kind of coming up with not a character so much, but like figuring out what parts to emphasize has really gone a long way. I'm definitely more confident in front of the camera than I was when I started because now I have an idea of more how I'm trying to act, sort of what character I'm playing. So I really appreciate that. I try. Dia Della Tuala, thank you so much for the super chat. I slaughtered your name. Terrible. I'm sorry about that. You forged this amazing empire in 1 year. It's amazing. What were you using your amazing charisma for before? Meeting Brooke. It's not accurate to say that this was 1 year. Because I already had like a few tens of thousands of subscribers from the Nerf video that I posted a few years ago. Although many of those people left as soon as I started posting again. So I started a little bit. I started from a privileged position, I guess I should say. So it's not really fair to say I did all this in a year, but I still did a lot of work, and a lot of it paid off. So I really appreciate it. Master Machete asks, "What's the Twitch account?" It's twitch.tv/Zack Freedman. Yeah, I wasn't using my charisma of anything for anything. Brooke says, "I had 500 subscribers from Nerf. I thought it was closer. I thought it was closer to multi-digit. Oh no, you're right. You're right. It was 500, not 1,000. I had 50,000 views on the video. Brooke is right. I mixed the stuff up. The Nerf video had 50,000 views on it. I had about 500 subscribers. The difference between that said, like the difference between 500 and 200,000 is a huge difference between 0 and 200,000, right? Like your first 10,000 subscribers are the hardest. Although I strongly believe you don't really put, for any aspiring YouTubers there, don't pay attention to small numbers. You don't put your channel doesn't matter until you hit 100. Your channel barely matters until you hit like 100,000, right? Like your subscribers, like until you hit 100,000 subscribers, your channel, your subscribers themselves aren't enough to get a video under heavy rotation. YouTube doesn't start heavily promoting a video until it reaches somewhere in the neighborhood of 25,000 views, 30,000 views, and you're not going to get that with like 100,000 viewers gives you a fairly decent chance of getting that in the first 2 days. So, yeah, if you're just getting started, just ignore your numbers. They don't count until like 50,000 is when you're, let's see, in like if YouTube is an underground casino that you're gambling at, let's see, 1,000 subscribers is when you're playing out front in the legitimate above ground part of the illegal casino. At 50,000 views, they open the door and let you in. At 10,000, they sit you down at the table and give you some chips. So if you're just getting started, don't worry about it. I didn't even look at the. That's why we had the 2,000 subscriber special instead of a 1,000 subscriber special. Like, Kirsty Whale says, you need to hit algorithm critical mass before it pushes it. To an extent, the algorithm does take chances on videos. Generally, your first, the way it works, I've found, is your first 5,000 views are free. But if it doesn't perform well in that, it's not going to happen. The more views it gets, and the more of those views come in from outside YouTube, the more likely YouTube is to show it off. But at the end of the day, YouTube doesn't take videos seriously. You want to be at a point where where people are watching for about half the video, and about one in 5 people who see the thumbnail are clicking it. That's about where you want to go. But it takes time, and remember, you don't get any bonus points for being new. Like, I didn't get any special treatment for being new on the block. Sure, like I got the occasional comment saying like, "Oh, I can't believe this guy only has 5,000 subscribers." Heyo. But YouTube and most viewers don't care. They expect the same production value from you as they would get from me, or from Hacksmith, or from Mark Rober, or from Wired Magazine, or the entire Condé Nast Network, or snippets of real TV shows. You don't get any passes for being new. So remember that you're being held to a high standard. That's the tip I would give. I don't know how I got in this. Kirsty Whale says, like a snowball effect. You don't have momentum enough to hit the curve, YouTube won't let you roll the hill. That's not entirely accurate. It often works that way. Often enough that you could be confused to thinking so. But first off, just because a video does well doesn't mean your channel will do well. In fact, fun fact, something about 95% of videos with more than 1 million views are on channels with fewer than I forget the number. I think it was on channels with fewer than 50,000 subscribers. Basically, a popular video doesn't mean you're going to have a popular channel, and vice versa. Basically, most of the growth in this channel happened before our most popular video hit 600,000 views. So it depends. You got to make great stuff. You got to make, and by great, I don't mean subjective great. I mean great as in things people want to watch. Shoggoth9T says, I think it's better to have great engagement than big numbers. I mean, engagement is a form of, engagement is a number. But there are a few ways to go about it. You have the rule of 1,000. You have like, was it the rule of 1,000 that from like in startup land, where like if you have 1,000 people who give you $100 a year, you can you can pay your bills, which I don't think is accurate anymore. I don't think 100,000 is enough. But there's that. So yeah, technically, if you have very dedicated subscribers, you don't need many of them. Veritasium, yeah, he has talked about clickbait. It's not as clear cut as he says. If you're a large channel, I think there are a number of different algorithms that like people say the algorithm, but I don't think that's accurate. I think there are a number of them that go after different types of videos in different contexts. And I think when you're a very large creator, YouTube is running a different system that I think involves manual intervention. I mean, look, I watched the video. I have been I've been doing some A/B testing with thumbnails to try to confirm it. I've found that there aren't any rules. Like, it's not about putting red arrows or faces or any of that. That works for some things, but not others. I will say that for every video, there is a sweet spot, and in terms of how to form the thumbnail and the title, and you have to hit that in order for your video to do well. Of our top 5 videos, 3 of them. Let me think here. Of the top videos, 3 of them performed like super duper butt. Let's see what's going on here. Have I missed stuff? Oh, I missed a super chat. Let's do this real quick. Zoster, thank you so much for the super chat and for supporting us, I believe, on Patreon. If there was a spike at 5:59:46 of the air fryer stream, it definitely wasn't me sharing a timestamp. It's true. Oh man, people love seeing that explosion. I love seeing that explosion. That thing scared the heck out of me. I still haven't thrown it out. I still have a big pile. Anyways, what was I saying? Making one good video isn't enough. People won't subscribe. Hell, making 100 good videos isn't enough. People don't subscribe unless they think your best days are ahead of you. So you need to make sure that every video people see is a floor-splitting banger. Right, and that they need to see that you have momentum, that you don't make you come out with videos more than once a month. I mean, not necessarily, like, you can succeed for the most part. They want to see that you will regularly feed them new videos that are just as good, if not better, as your old stuff. And I think that's what people like seeing. Yeah. Darrell Gross says, "Sorry, no, I don't hold anyone to the standards like that. We're all humans." Gotta be careful. Because, yes, I'm a person, but you don't interact with me as a person. You interact with me as a company, right? Like, you shouldn't hold people to standards like that and hold analytics over people. But companies aren't people, right? Like, we're delivering a product that you want. And so, yes, I think it's totally fine for viewers. On top of that, it's totally fine for viewers to hold channels to that standard. And on top of that, I don't like the word should. There is no should, there is no could, there is no ought, there is only is. We deal with the world the way it exists. We can change, we can try to move that needle, but at the end of the day, like, we can move that needle, but at the end of the day, you have to interact with the world the way it, you have to interact with your reality the way reality interacts back. Nothing's, like, feel free to change it, but, it takes a very long time and a lot of work to change things. You can't treat, what I'm saying here is that, like, you can't treat things as though they've already been changed. You have to do the work first. It's part of the fun. Yeah, as for audience engagement versus numbers, audience engagement makes numbers. Straight up. It works that direction. I mean, people like your stuff. They click your thumbnails. They watch a lot of the video, so your numbers increase. If you artificially goose your numbers, it can have short-term effects, but it doesn't last. Clickbait has an unfortunate effect of you can't really build a channel on the back of clickbait, because people will click on one video, but you don't know what's going to be recommended afterwards. It's tricky. But the important part, as it relates to this particular channel, is John Hart says, unless the kid channel, that's its own ball of wax. The important part here is that lately I haven't been making videos people want to watch. People clearly want stuff on mechanical keyboards, right? Video game props, Nerf. They want to be taught things. They want to find out what they can use their 3D printer for. And I haven't been doing stuff like that. I made myself a computer, and I showed you around my 3D printing lab, and I showed you how to make videos, right? And that stuff. Like, it's clear why the videos haven't been doing too well lately, because I'm showing people stuff they don't care about. So yeah, part of that's going back to basics and reminding myself that I'm a servant of the I'm your humble servant. I make things that you want to watch, and every once in a while I'll give myself the ability to make something I want to watch. But nope, I do the stuff for you. As for kid channels, oh man, that's the biggest thing I did right. Is I decided from square one that I wouldn't be trying to market to kids. Kids are a great way to become popular on YouTube. There are far more kids on YouTube, and they watch far more YouTube. But they don't make any money. Kids don't have money. Like, they won't support you on Patreon. They won't click through. They won't buy things from the sponsors. They can't be shown as many ads. Like, yeah, I mean, sure, you get the numbers, right? But I'm not doing this to puff my ego up. I don't do this to tell people on the street I have 200,000 subscribers. I'm a kind of a big deal. No, I do this to keep the lights on. Yeah. And anyways, yeah. So this has been a hell of a year. If any, last chance to ask any questions. It's been a hell of a year. I don't want this to. By the way, I don't want this to sound like I'm like my outlook on this whole thing is negative. Like this work is a blast. I get to make projects I like doing. I get to faff about with 3D printers. I get to try new stuff. I get to know that I'm helping people, right? Like people finish projects and they say they send me there's a message on Instagram or something saying like, hey, I just finished my first mechanical keyboard and would have done without your video. And I'm getting people actually the job is worth it. Is it hard? Beyond brutal. Is it worth it? It's certainly worth it. The thing that keeps me going, the reason why I haven't fully collapsed and burned out is because ultimately at the end of every day, I can metaphorically kick back and look at what we've made and see that it's working. People are listening, they're learning things, they're making things they never thought of before. I had a lot of fun doing it, and yeah, all that crap. So yeah. I do get to chat with some cool people, says Leadneck. Yeah. As for as Shoggoth 9T says, easy money. There's nothing easy about this in the slightest. Not at all. I have busted my buns for every single nickel that we earn on this channel. Even things like the merch, I didn't have time to make new. I didn't have time to make brand new designs for that, or find and hire a graphic designer. But I still each one of those items took probably an hour or two to reformat. I didn't just take the emotes and put them on stickers. I didn't just take the logo and put it on shirts. I redesigned them to look nicer and to flow better and to balance better, and I adjusted the color. I adjusted the colors so that they would come out better in Pantone, and vectorized everything and made sure that they showed up at the right resolution and all that stuff. So and wrote the descriptions and all that. So this is all a tremendous amount of work, and I think it's worth it. Yeah. So we're going to start doing the streams on Twitch. Twitch is brutal. As far YouTube is hard, but Twitch is extremely hard. I am counting on everyone here who cares about streams to get your buns to Twitch, and I think you can follow or just remember, right? Because I'm gonna be completely cut off from my ability to send you any notifications. Twitch is not going to show my streams to anyone. I have to bring my first 100 to 200 viewers before Twitch shows the stream to anyone. The flip side, though, is that the streams are going to be a little different. I'm going to be able to chill out a lot more. It's very much going to go down. The streams before, it turned into almost this variety show, right? I tried very hard to keep everything moving around. I cut myself off if we have to, look something up for more than a few seconds. But on Twitch, it's going to be me working on projects, and you get to sit at my desk while I do it. Ducky Lootness says, "Can you not set up a Discord alert bot?" I mean, we have the stream. Oh, that's a great point. If you haven't already done so, go on our Discord, go into opt-in roles, and take the stream stand role. Because then I will be able to send you a notification whenever a stream is about to begin. So yeah. Seventh says, "Can you go live on YouTube to notify that you're going to be on Twitch? I never sit on the Twitch platform, but occasionally go there. The YouTube phone notifications send me to live streams." I think for a while, but probably, strictly speaking, probably not. I think a large number of my viewers are already fed up with being notified for streams, so being notified to go to a different website is probably over the top. Remember, I've lost something like 20,000. From streaming, I think I've lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 15,000 subscribers. So we'll do a little bit of Discord action. Yeah. John Hart says, "My work blocks Twitch but not YouTube. I guess I have to work now." Well, unfortunately, them's the breaks. I'm still going to be taking, by the way, I'm still going to be taking stream VODs. I'm still going to be trying to record the streams, and we're going to upload them to the second YouTube channel, which is going to be promoted everywhere. You're not going to be able to miss that one. As soon as I have that one up, I'm going to promote it. Right now, I haven't promoted it because it doesn't have anything on it because I have to verify it. Remember, like, the second channel is not an offshoot of the first channel. I'm starting from square one, 0 subscribers, no privileges, nothing. So I'm still waiting on verification for that to enable me to upload streams to upload videos as long as the stream. So we're going to do that. Rondavon Obal says, "Why not dual stream on a second channel?" Well, the first problem is people on YouTube don't like the streams. So putting the streams on YouTube and Twitch doesn't solve that problem because people on YouTube don't care about the streams. So at the end of the day, I'm not doing this on Twitch to do the streams. I'm doing this on Twitch to not do the streams on YouTube. The other option here, the other option I've been entertaining was just to stop streaming forever, which, could be the smarter option, but I think the streams bring enough value to enough people that I want to keep them going on Twitch. So yeah, that's the main reason. The second thing is that if you multi-stream, it locks you out from basically advancing on Twitch. They, if basically you got to get what do you call it? To get to Twitch partnership is sort of like YouTube, sort of like being a YouTube partner, and you have to sign a contract saying that you will never stream on multiple platforms at once. In fact, it might say you can't stream on other platforms at once. I need to double check that, because if that's the case, Evgeny Zislis, I slaughtered her name, says you can always cut pieces of Twitch streams for YouTube content. I don't have time for that. At some point, hopefully if people are interested enough in that, we'll hire an editor, but that would cost about, I think the quote we got was like $500 minimum per episode to cut a Twitch stream, and the streams do not earn $500, so that's not worth it. Yeah. Rondavon says, "Well, why not dual stream on a second channel?" I mean, then we run into issues with that. I don't think it'll matter. I don't think people care. I don't think people come to YouTube to watch streams. I think people go to Twitch to watch streams. They come to YouTube to watch tight as a drum videos. So I feel like I'm talking in circles now. So we're ending the... so I think it's about time to bring this to an end. So, So yeah, I guess goals. We talk a little about the future. We've talked about the past. We've talked about the present. Can only talk about the future, right? So, the videos I want to make. We're going to teach a robot to lie. We're going to do the cyber deck or a very, very, very crazy mechanical keyboard. Depends on how much time we have. We're going to do every filament 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do every resin. I'd like to do an Opticon video. Maybe I'll just figure out some sort of cheap heads-up display. I just don't think... I don't know. Anyways, what's some other stuff? Oh, we're gonna do more Nerf blasters. As soon as there's another video, or as soon as there's another video game with the popularity of Among Us, we will. Whatchamacallit? As soon as we have another video with the popularity of Among Us, we'll do another video on things like that. We're gonna do more Getting Started series. Make sure you keep the ideas coming about what types of projects you'd like to get started in. A lot of people are asking about the Voron. I'm not convinced that would be a very well performing video, because I have watched a lot of Voron video. All right. So many people ask me about this. Voron and Clipper. They ask me so much about this. I've done extensive search on YouTube. I haven't seen a single Voron video. I've only seen 2 or so Voron videos break 100,000 views, and I've barely seen any Clipper videos do that well. So the fact of the matter is, people don't want to see it. I might make it a Patreon exclusive. I don't know when I would have the time to do something like that, but I think if we ever the prerequisite would be, first, I need the Voron for a project. Second, we'd probably do it as a Twitch thing. The Voron does seem really awesome. JWR Films says, laser cutter DIY? That is so far beyond my skill level, I don't even want to think about it. Remember, I haven't been sticking to my video schedule. Every video needs to be done in every project, for all intents and purposes, has to be finished in 5 to 8 days, and I'm streaming during 4 of those. So yeah, I think we're gonna do the custom mechanical keyboard or cyber deck or both. Yeah, a Voron is for all the people wondering what the heck I'm talking about. Voron is an open source 3D printer that's particularly fast. Some folks are saying FPV. FPV content, I have found, also doesn't always work well on non-FPV channels. It seems to be one of those things where, like, people either like it or they don't. I might, if we do unfortunately I don't think it's going to happen for soon, because by the time we have an opening to do something like a drone, it's going to be winter and we're not going to have a lot of sunlight. So yeah. Ollie Rock says PCBs with high-speed stuff like USB 3. Well, doing what? I get the suspicion. I get the sense that, so, like, I'm not Ben Heck, right? People don't come to my channel to like learn how USB works. So yeah, stuff like that, I'm not sure it would work. But I think we got some other topics here that I think could be very, very interesting. FPV drone, by the way, I think that could be neat, especially if it involves wearables or stuff. We got some pancake drones. Thomas Cloud asks, would you ever upload 3D print time-lapse videos, supplementary videos? I try to include them as B-roll in my videos. I mean, I'm not gonna print stuff just to get time-lapse footage of it. That's wasteful. But I try. I haven't been as good about it because I've been under such a rush to get all this stuff done that I haven't been able to do a lot of these prints with the right camera lens up. Gotta do some. JWR Film says, how about a DIY games console running on a RetroPie? If there is an interesting twist to it, yeah. I feel like it's been kind of, like, I can't just build a project, right? Like, it's, like, other better channels than me have just built pretty much everything there is to just build. Oh, the shorts. Oh, people are talking about shorts. If I lost 20,000 subscribers from doing high-effort streams that I bust my butt on, I can't even imagine the beating my channel would take if I start releasing shorts. Oh my gosh. We're definitely going to do... Oh, J-Man says, thinks 3D scanning would be cool. We actually do have a 3D scanning stream coming up. Got sent a 3D scanner, and Brooke and I are going to use it to scan each other. That would be interesting. Then we get the occasional idea, the occasional suggestion that's just straight impossible, like an invisibility suit. I think some people, that's a way of saying it, some people have inflated expectations of what I'm capable of doing. Yeah, remember, most of my stuff is about taking off-the-shelf things and modifying them. Or, doing 3D prints and stuff. So there are a lot of these. So people have ideas for me, things like, what's the way of saying it? Things that people have a lot of ideas that I'm sure are doable, but I could never even come close to doing. Like designing a 3D printer from scratch, or, making like a Nerf turret that automatically aims with machine learning. Like that's, forget things I can do. And remember, I have to build the entire project in 5 days. And if it takes an extra day for the filament to show up, then I have to build the entire project in 4 days. I don't even think I could build those things at all. Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of cool Twitch controlled projects. That would be a lot of fun. definitely. Let's take another. Oh, so Brooke and I actually met. So Brooke and I, the first time we actually were in the same room years before we met. We both went to a book signing. I think it was it was Cory Doctorow and Charlie Stross did this book called Rapture of the Nerds, and they did this book signing, and you could get it was at the MakerBot headquarters, and you could get a 3D printed bust of either Charlie or man, I'm having a hard time keeping my head straight. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Or what's his name? Cory. Yeah, Charlie or Cory. So you get like a 3D printed bust of them. And Brooke and I were both at that same event. We didn't talk. We didn't meet each other. We didn't know we existed. She took the Cory Doctorow. I took the Charlie Stross. And then years later, I can't. Brooke, remind me. Did I spot the Cory Doctorow head at your place, or did you spot the Charlie Stross head at my place? Because whatever it is, we're like, wait a second, is that a 3D printed head of this sci-fi author? Where did you get that? And we ended up being at the same thing. We got the different authors, and we reunited them. We moved in together. Isn't that the sweetest? Isn't that the sweetest? AD29111 says, the auto-aiming Nerf turret seems reasonable. The auto-aiming Nerf turrets have been done so many times. I think it would be a little stale if I did it. Yeah. Remember, Lauren Brooks says, I need to tell this in person. Oh my. How should we do this? Is Brooke, are you coming in? You don't want to wear the headset? What's going on here? Ev Jenny Zisla says, you're going to make a short YouTube video announcing that content will not be coming to Twitch? What do you mean? We're going to be putting lots of stuff on Twitch. All the streams. I don't know if I'll do an announcement. Remember, people are very sensitive to notifications. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, hang on one sec. Now that I'm thinking about it, doing that in a video is actually a good idea because it gives people a chance to say good riddance. So yes, I'll make a short video announcing the transition. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Let me tab back over. Brooke, do you want to say hi? Sure. What do you want to do? Do you want to wear the headset?
Just like talk really close to you.
No. Oh, it's under my shirt.
I'll just do like. Can everyone hear me?
Everyone can hear you.
Okay. So Zack never remembers anything, but the way the story went was I was at his place the first time we hung out, and he was, talking about his 3D printer, and he was like, have you ever seen one of these before? And I was like, yeah, at this event at, what was it? I
think it was
MakerBot, Bot Cave?
Headquarters or something.
Yeah.
The Bot Cave.
The Bot Cave.
Don't tell me they actually called it that.
I think they called it that. I think that's what it was called. Anyway, and I was like, yeah, I went to this event there, Cory Doctorow did this book thing, and he was like, wait, did you get one of these heads? And I was like, yes. Yes, I did. They're also signed.
Oh, it is signed.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Mine has like a Ziggy Stardust little lightning bolt. Anyway, that's the story.
Yeah, so what year was that?
That was in...
Like how long before we actually met?
I think it was in 2012 or 2013.
So like a good 6 years before we met.
No, that was like 2 or 3 years before we met.
When did we meet?
In 2015.
We met in 2015?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here, take your control back.
I guess it was 3 years.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, Brooke, for being able to actually remember time.
I actually just found my picture of me with Cory Doctorow.
Brooke says she just found her picture of herself with Cory Doctorow. Do you want me to turn this back so you're out of frame? Yeah. So yeah, that's the story. Oh man, what a frickin' adventure this has been. What an opus. Detlev says Zach's sleeping in the doghouse tonight. More like the dog sleeping in Zach's house tonight. Am I right? Yeah. I missed a super chat. Oh no. JWR Films, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm trying to make 3 key macro pads as a project with kids in my school. Thanks to you. Cheers for the content. That's a really good like intro to electronics project. I made something similar for the Hoboken Maker Bar when I was doing their electronics classes and stuff. Yeah, it's a really good project. Oh man. Yeah, what a saga. Brooke, are you pulling up a picture?
I'm trying to. It's just way back here.
But yeah, Pi Pico could be a good controller. Yeah, because they're cheap, definitely. I actually, someone from after our last stream, I talked about how we couldn't use one of our last streams. We were building the mechanical keyboard, and I talked about like how we couldn't use a Pi Pico because we couldn't get them in quantity. And someone from Seed Studio reached out to me about they're making this super small Raspberry Pi module that might be perfect for this project. So might end up redesigning. So if we can commit to a minimum order quantity, then if they can supply them in the hundreds or the thousands, then that could be appropriate. On all that time we spent messing around with the Atmega will have been for naught. Do I hear a dog? Do I hear him outside?
He lives here.
Oh, he's gonna pee on the floor again. He's totally gonna pee on the floor. Hey, check it out. It's a picture of Brooke and Cory Doctorow from that very event. This isn't working. I don't have a non-webcam camera. There we go. You can tell by how vivacious he looks that this was taken before the Trump administration.
Yeah, this was 2012. Okay, so it was 3 years before I met.
3 years before we met. Aw, we went to the same nerdy book signing. What kind of dork goes to a book signing in 2012?
It was a reading and a signing?
It was a reading and a signing. You know who goes to something like that? Me. Turns out Charlie Strauss he's not as cool as I expected.
Cory Doctorow is way cooler.
Well, there you go. Oh man. So we've got some. Well, let's see. All right. So what do you think, Brooke? Is it time to draw the stream to an end? Have we forgotten anything? Have we ticked all the boxes? Have we thanked everyone who needs to be thanked? I mean, this stream is sponsored by Thangs, so no matter. So hopefully, I've inspired you at some point along this. This journey to maybe print something or design something for printing. So if that's the case, head over to thangs.com. Use the link in the description. Thangs was our first sponsor. They were basically single-handedly responsible for letting me jump to working on YouTube full-time about over a year ahead of schedule. They're supporting our streams. They're supporting us as we move to Twitch and get off of get the streams off of YouTube. And yeah, I really can't thank them enough. Without Twitch, it would be without Thangs, the channel would be in a much worse position. So I'm super grateful to them, and I'm honored to let them sponsor this episode. So also, pretty much every one of my projects that has a 3D printing component is all on Thangs. You can use that link in the description. 7th says ET on every resin. No. Reagan, thanks a lot for the super chat. Howdy, you two. How about an RGB disco ball, smart mirror, RGB earrings, board game, TV table, etc.? I mean, they will make great projects, but the Chromance has proven that just putting glowing LEDs in something does not a good video make. So maybe there's a context. Maybe there's a context that we could do that in. It would be fun, but I don't think it's our next 500,000 view video. Unfortunately. Yeah, we have to go back to our roots. Things like Nerf blasters, things like, and also tell me what you want to get started in. I want to do more of those getting started series, and I want to do more tutorial series. So make sure you let me know on Discord, on social media, etc. What you'd like to learn and what you'd like to get going. We plan videos about 2 months ahead, 2 or 3 months ahead. So yeah. And also, Things and, don't forget Things and Lulzbot helped me run a contest to build wearables. You're going to hear more about that soon. But if you have an idea of a good wearable, get started on it, because you could win a kick-ass, like, this thing freaking rules, 3D printer. Ledneck says, ETA and a good night's sleep and a leisurely breakfast. Breakfast will never happen. Good night's sleep, I don't know. My original plan allowed me to take 2 days off in the middle of next month, but I don't think it's going to happen. So hopefully I can hang on until the slow season in January, to take a day or two off. But it's pretty unlikely. I'll probably be able to take time off once the channel gets large enough that I can start hiring employees. But yeah, we're gonna be building a lot of cool stuff, especially involving Twitch. Oh, the Twitch API is so much more. It's one of the most developer-friendly APIs around. So I'm super excited. So, anyways, thanks a lot to everyone for tuning in, and most importantly, thanks a lot to everyone for watching. Because, I mean, a YouTube channel doesn't exist without its viewers, and you have been the greatest viewers a cyborg could ever want. So, from the bottom of my cold mechanical heart, thanks to each and every one of you for just sticking with me this long, and sticking with me and dealing with all the baloney, because I wasn't born knowing how to do this stuff, and it's been a real rough learning experience. So I really appreciate everyone's patience, and I can only hope that Voidstar Lab continues and improving day by day, better and better, helping each and every one of you finish more and more projects far into the future. Cheers.